What's going on, y'all? This is the actor discussion for OWN Unscripted Television's All the Single Ladies. And today, on season 1, episode 4, after discussion, we're talking about why women cheat. And this is going to be a really good episode. So I want you guys to grab your glass of wine, share this with a girlfriend, because we got Jolesa and Dawn from the show chatting with us tonight. Stay tuned. There we go. What's going on, y'all? This is the after discussion for All the Single Ladies on OWN TV. If you haven't watched the show, I definitely encourage you to tune in on Fridays and get your fill. Because you know how we are as women. We got to talk. We got to sort our stuff. We have to see who's got what going on and make sure we're not the only ones going through all of this crazy stuff that we experience. And that's what I love most about the show, the transparency, the art, the production, everything about it. So this episode from season 1, episode 4 is titled Why Women Cheat, and it was so good. And I'm going to start with one of my special guests who is here. Dr. Dawn is in the building.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's get this layout looking like something. Let's give us a little. There we go.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's zoom in a little bit. Hold on.
Zoom in. Yeah, we didn't do all this for nothing,
right?
What's going on, Dawn? How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I ran a few errands, got my toes done, had some dinner, and now it's time for a glass of wine in this conversation.
Hey, I got the glass. I came prepared.
Listen.
I came prepared.
Listen. Well, cheers to that. Cheers to an amazing conversation. Clink, clink. Okay. A glass of wine always helps. It takes the edge off. We're just good girlfriends here. I enjoyed this episode so much. And I love watching you guys because I feel like we talk, but when you look at a television screen and you're seeing people really share and you're like, oop, that happened to me. I did that too. Oh, she went through it. It's so major. It just makes you feel like a human and not like you're stupid for what you did or too much guilt and shame for what you experienced or, oh, no wonder I was thinking like that. They did it too. And we grew up the same way. And we're just able to find things together. So what was your favorite part about participating in this show and the experience that it offers?
Oh my goodness. From the beginning, when you walk in and it's Black women behind the scenes. It was Black women on the show. I mean, we had our locks, we had our natural hair, we had all of it. I was like, yes. I mean, it was amazing. So just seeing myself and the other people, I was like, okay, I can do this. And then, working in the field of psychology, I got in and I was like, wait, not me having a therapy session. So it like reversed roles on me, right? But they made me so comfortable that it was easy to do.
Yeah, and it was easy to watch, and I love that. Like, the sisterhood is something special. I grew up with women of, all shades, all races, and all of this, but there's just something about us Black women when we get together, our experiences, what we go through. It's one of a kind. So it's nice that we have each other. It's different, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So we'll dive into this conversation. I think Jolesa, I'm sure she will show up when she, gets, what she's got together, but I'll dive into this. So I found myself being so biased on the show because I was like, what they did wasn't even that bad. Why are these guys tripping? But then it's like, when the shoes on the other foot were like, he should, and I had to check myself, but I really felt like for example, with Jolesa, both of you guys, you made your needs known. You tried.
Yeah.
And you were met with what you got.
Resistance.
So it's like, what did they expect?
Yes, agreed. And I felt bad because I'm like, I don't want to justify it because there's no justification, right? And at the end of the day, I'm in a better place. So I'm very grateful for that. But when you're in it, it's different, So I think that was the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was watching, you shared, you let him know we need therapy, we need this with that, like this is what's going on, and he didn't want to comply
at all.
So
but
it's
not
kind
only
of
that, I think a big miss was that I was 19 when we got together. He was 43. So, so at the same time, I'm asking for things, my needs aren't being met, and he's in daddy mode. Like, I'm not doing it. So it wasn't, at that point, it wasn't a partner. It was like, it was authoritative. So.
Oh, and that in and of itself is a whole conversation, because before we dive into that, because I got a little more on that, we're going to bring Jolesa to the stage with us. Let's see. What's up, ladies?
Hi.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi, guys. So sorry I'm late. I was struggling with the wine bottle. I didn't know it was a cork. My apologies.
No, you
Not the wine.
Right. Well, we're here. We're good. Everyone, we got what we got. You got red too, or you got the white?
I've got white. Cheers, ladies.
You got the white.
Yes.
Please.
I had to do a little Merlot.
If you see my cat in the background, please excuse her. I just live here. She owns the place. So.
Correct. I definitely know how that goes. I was just sharing with Dawn how I was so biased when I was watching the show, and I had such a double standard, because I feel like both of y'all ladies were very clear about what you wanted and what you needed and what needed to be done in order for the relationship to head in a healthy direction.
Exactly.
And neither one of these guys were willing to meet you at least halfway. And that really bothered me. It bothered me as a watcher. And I know when the shoe's on the other foot, we see guys cheat, and, I'm kind of quicker to put it on them. So I was like,
right.
I was like, I really had to look at myself like, no, I'm upset. These girls didn't do anything. But so I'm taking that. I'll be like, they tried. You know what I'm saying? I was watching with a different eye. So it was, like you said, Dawn, not like it was justified, but I kind of felt like, well,
hey, you were sticking with this. We got to stick together sometimes on certain things,
we do. Honestly, truly, honestly.
Because they together. So.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts. And they justify all their stuff together, so I'm not mad at it.
Really
What's going on, SJ in the chat? Good evening, ladies. Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hello.
Good evening.
I'm so glad you're here. Feel free to drop your questions, comments. We're here to have a good time.
Yes,
So I wanted to know with you guys. Okay, so one of the first things I wanted, since we were talking about that, and before we dive into the age gap with your guy, Dawn, do you think there's a difference between why men cheat and why women cheat? And is it derived from the same void, or how do you guys feel about that now that you're kind of in the clear of those situations?
I think they do cheat for different reasons. I remember when everything was happening, my dad gave me a really good bit of advice. He said, a man will have everything at home and still cheat. And he said, if a woman cheats, she's missing something at home.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was going to say. I think typically, and I'm no man, right? So I'm a preface it by saying that. But what I'll say is I agree with Jolesa, is that typically women cheat because it's an emotional thing. They're missing something. They're wanting something. Men, now they've justified it. Just because I cheat on you doesn't mean I don't love you. So I think men cheat more physical. We're emotional and they're more physical.
Yeah, drumming with Jarvis says facts. So I think we have a man in the chat that agrees.
Hey, man in the chat.
We appreciate you. We love to hear the male perspective too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me. And that's why I was kind of on your side with it. You guys were sharing what it is that you needed. And it's like, we'll always say something like, if I'm feeling ignored, or I'm not feeling sexy, or I'm letting you know I'm seeing something in you, and we need to get on the same page that this is what partnership is. I'm voicing it. I'm not sneaking around, so it is the emotional thing where, of course, guys, they're like, what you said, like, it's not cheating and I just needed a minute and all this and that. It doesn't come from this space. It's like almost the same, but it's different. They feel like, I guess they have a void in that area. And we're like, well, we have a void in this area. And I was just, how do we justify these things? Yeah.
I appreciate you from watching it with a different set of eyes, because I tell everybody when, like, even in my situation, it was more so people do grow apart, and I should have communicated it differently instead of doing it. But people, shit happen. Oh, can
it
I
does. Yeah, YouTube knows what's up. We're grown. My thing says not for kids.
We're a few minutes in. They're dealing different now. We're a few minutes in. We should be good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So now with your guy, you guys had this age gap, and you were talking about how he was parenting. And it's so interesting because me and my girlfriends were at a space where we're having conversations about how that correlates. Because what I feel like is sometimes guys that I have dated or friends that have dated guys, I feel like they treat us with the perspective of like their mom, their sister. They kind of expect us to be like, well, my sister does this, or my mom did this, or my aunt told me this, and my grandma. And I just feel like that lens is completely skewed. So for me, when I'm thinking of a man who's grown, 40 something, like,
there we go.
Why do you want to parent her?
Right.
How does that mesh with romantic relationship? This is not the same.
It's not the same. And he actually had a child that was older than me, and he's younger than my mom. There's levels to this.
Wow.
So, like I said, when I was on there, like I thought it was real cute. I thought it was real cute. Oh, he's picking out my clothes. Oh, he's doing this. But when I was like, that's so sweet. Oh my God.
He wants me to wear a leash. It's so cute.
I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. Until one day I picked out my own clothes, and he was like, where are you going? Sir. Oh. And he was like, where are you going with that? Where'd you get it from? And I was like, the store.
Right.
And so just realizing I didn't know until I was, like I said, until I was sitting in it.
I can resonate with that too. Can you guys hear me? Because my audio was acting a little crazy.
We can hear you.
Okay. I had that same kind of revelation as well, but I didn't realize what it was until I was in it. It wasn't, I think he kind of masked it like he wasn't picking out my clothes per se, but he would say things like, oh wow, like you look so mature in that. And I was like, I'm 22. Why do I want to look mature? And then
what does that mean?
And I felt like at times like he questioned my Blackness, because I was like, okay, I grew up in a Caribbean household, so maybe I haven't seen all the Black classics, but it was like he was telling me he was picking out different clothes for me, like on my birthday or holidays, things like that. He's like, oh, I think like, you look like I would like you to look a little bit more urban. And I was like, okay. So all the Jordans I had, he bought them. All the other clothes that he thought would make me look, I guess, get in tune with my Blackness, which kind of made me feel like, damn, am I not like Black enough for you at times? Kind of like made me feel a ways. But I was like, okay, well, he's my husband, like he's the head of the household, so he's not gonna steer me wrong, because I'm trusting his lead. But when you look back at it, you're like why was I not enough? It felt like at times, like, okay, so I haven't seen all the Black classics. Okay, so I like a little bit of pop music.
Yeah,
what's the big deal?
Right. Britney Spears is amazing, especially.
Like I grew up on Christina Aguilera. I didn't really, I heard a couple of Brandy, Boys to Men, but I also heard dance hall in my house. Like I knew when that was playing, it was time to clean. So like we just have different experiences. Right. I feel kind of more bad about mine.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that makes sense. Like you can be all the things, but he was more so like, hey, but you're not Black enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've never heard since then, like, oh, I'd like you to look more urban.
I don't even know what that means. What that look like? Email me that, girl.
You know what I'm saying? You get the bullet points, like the slideshow, because I would love to know what that means. This is where we need to get out of that stereotype or societal whatever has been created. And now that you guys are saying it, I'm realizing I went through the same thing. Like, I was 19 and I was with a guy and we were engaged. It's the only engagement I ever had, but it was that thing. All the Jordans, the Avarex, and whatever else was
apple bottom
to me, the apple bottom at the time.
Yes.
He's trying to dress me and make me this thing that he wants. Like, it's just, I wasn't enough. And he was a cheater on top of it. So it was at 19 years old, it was just like,
it's a lot.
It was too much.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
These are still formative years. Like, what's that part in the front of our head that's still forming until we're like
the frontal lobe?
Oh, the frontal? Yeah, the frontal.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Up in here, we're still moving forward, and now we're being like damaged and questioning ourselves and feeling like there's all these things, and it's just like, why is it I'm not good enough? Because I went to school in Orange County, so yeah, I listened to all of I did TLC, I did Escape, I did all of that, but I also did Britney Spears, Christina,
exactly, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC,
right?
Just like I said,
all the things,
B2K. I was into it all.
Yeah. And if these guys were a little bit more mature, I feel like they could have saw that as a learning experience. Like, what dance hall? What's that about? Is that what we're gonna play when we clean?
Right.
Together on Saturday.
Like, what's the move? Yes.
Exactly.
I haven't seen Love and Basketball. Why don't we sit down and watch it so you can, you know what I mean? Whatever it's gonna be.
Exactly. A time to like I think trade and learn about each other's cultures, because obviously, like, he had, or well, I shouldn't say had, the man's not, passed away or anything. He had
he killed them all.
Yeah.
Right.
When he was
so terrible. we just had different experiences, so I think that's a time where you can, like, educate and learn more about each other, like, because he knew my family, like, we'd known each other since we were 14 before we got married, and so at times he'd, like, stay with my family. He knew about, like, our Caribbean roots and everything like that, but it was it just felt like more so he, looking back at it now, he wasn't really trying to, like, learn about my culture, like, he was just kind of in it, but I don't know if he necessarily wanted to, like, learn more about it. Because he was already in it, so he probably already felt like he didn't have to,
Right. He's like, what else is to learn? Yeah.
Right. So how's dating going for you guys now? Are you guys dating now? What does that look like? How do you feel? Okay, girl,
she just jumped right in.
Right, I was like,
jumped right in.
Yeah, because
the wine was necessary, sisters. The wine was necessary.
Listen,
I am in a beautiful place. I have a person. He's amazing. And I can honestly say, like, for the first time, because I played for a long time, I knew that I wanted to be single after I got divorced. I got divorced at 29. I wanted to be single 5 years, ended up being single 7. Yeah, I'm 37 now. So, and it was like he just dropped, and I'm blessed. So, yeah.
I love you.
His birthday's tomorrow, so happy birthday, babe.
Okay, happy birthday, babe.
Right. What about you, Jolesa?
Well, I just recently started seeing someone, and like Dr. Dawn said, he just kind of, like, dropped in from nowhere. We met on Hinge, and we weren't even, like, how when you get on the dating apps, you're, like, bored, and you're like, oh, let me feel alive again. Like, people are swiping on me. Like, okay. So he gave me a rose, and I was like, okay. And I kind of sat on it for a couple of days, and then I was like, well, fuck it. What do I have to lose at this point? At this point in the dating pool, why not? And so I think it's going really well. We're not official yet, but I think we're on our way. I just saw him last night, and he's like, I'm so proud of you. And he's always telling me how beautiful I am and, like, reassuring me. He's very patient with me.
Yes,
so we love
speak
that.
Into. Yes.
Yay.
Congrats.
And he's British. So I like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I've tried the American models. Let me try to be a foreign.
I'm not mad at that. Does he have a friend, honey? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend.
He's got friends. He's got friends.
Yeah, me and my girls been talking about dabbling in, the foreignness of it all, because they seem to just really like the girls that I know that are dating men that are not from this country are really happy. They're really excited. They feel loved. They feel doted on. And I'm not saying American men can't do it. I'm just saying that there's
Why
more.
Not? Open it
up.
Broaden the horizon.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've met some great American men, Black American men, who love on their wives, their sisters, their mothers, their daughters. Yes. I just feel like in LA, the dating pool I hear it's rough everywhere, but especially in LA.
It's rough everywhere. I'm from Atlanta. I've been here 2 years. It's rough everywhere. It's a struggle.
I heard Atlanta's a battleground too.
Oh, not so impressed with Houston.
Yeah.
It's okay though, but it's not. I really.
There's people to date.
Yes.
It's the quality of the people.
Right. And then after you cross the quality, it's like, do we even mesh? There's just so many more things that have to line up. And it's just like, I don't know. It's not like I'm running around here, every weekend just living it up.
Exactly, because I only have so many more. So what's your favorite colors left in me?
Okay? Right, that's it.
Which
like, that's why I was done. I was like, I'm gonna just, like, show up in my favorite color, like, reduce all the questions. Okay, I got my favorite color. Like, why you need to know that? Are you giving me my favorite color? Brown. You gonna find a brown rose?
Right. What is that? I mean, what are we doing? I'm more interested in, like, do you want to get married? How many kids do you want to have? Right. Have you gone to therapy?
Right. Because
your relationship with your mother.
Hop in. Get there.
That part. I jumped right in. Like, before I had met the guy I'm seeing now, I was like, okay, like, I'm not even gonna wait till, like, the third date. I'm gonna ask you on the first if I've had enough drinks, or on the second date. So what are you looking for? Mm-hmm. Well, if they say, I don't know, I'm not going nowhere with you because you don't even know where you're going. So no, figure it out. Find somebody else to do it.
Wanted to date, I was like, I'm only dating with purpose. So as soon as I sat down, sir, I'm not even coming out on a date. if you're dating,
Exactly.
if you're not dating with purpose.
Yeah.
We don't
Exactly.
even need to meet. You was cute. I got your number. I'm not even texting you back
That's
if
it.
it's not with purpose.
At all, because I'm like I feel like time is a currency, and it's the most important because you can't get it back. So after I
Agreed.
got divorced, like everything that I didn't get to do in my marriage, I was out here wilding. My whole
Hey.
face was great. It was great. It was
It
great.
was-
And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to settle down.
Yeah.
And I was like, and for my dating, it was like intentional. So I'm not gonna date someone or say yes to being their girlfriend unless I can see myself marrying them.
That part.
And so if I couldn't, I was like, okay, well, you know, it was nice. Thank you so much. Like, God bless you and your family. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. I think back in the day, we've been in fear to show up that way. Like, we don't want to do too much too fast, or I don't want to scare them off. Look, if the fact that I'm dating for marriage scares you, then we're misaligned. And like you said, our time is currency. And the way I spend it and where I flow, the math has to math.
Right. Because it take a lot to pull me out the house.
So it really does at this point.
It does. Because I love my house. And I like being, I like chilling. I like just being in the crib. So if you got to get me out the house, you're going to get me out with reason.
Exactly. Hey, Marissa, thanks for tuning in. That's right, period. What are your
That's my
intentions?
best friend, guys. I'm
Hey,
hi,
best friend.
Hi, Betsy.
That's my best friend.
Okay. And yes, Dawn, I feel you. It takes a lot to get me out. Like, I feel like he will find me on the couch. We have the internet. We have. I've been on here. You know, I've been on here 20 minutes. He could have just been scrolling YouTube. Like, what's up?
Literally, you know. And I think about that. I'm like, dang, I'm not the outside friend like I used to be. Like, I'm okay going to brunch. Like, okay, I can get bottomless off the mimosas. I'm in the house by 8 p.m. We good.
Right.
And we did a full day. We're tipsy. We're sober now.
You know what I'm saying? I'm knocked out by 10 p.m. I got my bonnet on. I'm not.
Hey.
Imagine me at my big age getting up at 10 to get somewhere by midnight. I'm sleeping.
No.
I'm tired.
Oh, sis, I'll be tired. Like, that takes a whole, I got to mentally prepare for that, take a nap. Like, and then I'll be praying that somebody will cancel. Please cancel. Please
oh my
cancel.
God.
When they cancel, I wasn't praying.
Like, hey. Me and my friend were so bad that she'd be like, so who gonna cancel first? And I'd be like, girl, just come over. We can chill together.
You can wear your
We
PJs.
can just chill at the house. Exactly. I love cancel plans. I'd be like, I don't want to go anyways. Unless it's brunch. There must be food involved. If it's dinner, I'll absolutely go out to a lounge or a bar if there's food. But then after that, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to go home. Because the kind of guy I'm looking for, it could be a one-off chance that his friends are like, bro, we haven't seen you in like 3 months. Like, come out with us. And that's the reason he's there. But more often than not, you're probably there like every weekend. And I'm like, I'm tired. Yeah, the 30s hit different.
I'm
But
not in my
30s
early
hit different.
20s. They do. It's different. And just to let y'all know, I just turned 40 last year. So I'm really
40, you look amazing.
Hey,
thank you.
I'm here for it. It's a
I do
melanin
too.
thing. It's a melanin thing.
Stay stress-free, have a good time, and we don't crack. We got this.
At all.
I love your hair. It's so pretty too.
Thank you. I did it
gorgeous.
myself. YouTube University. I was like, how are we doing this? Because I'm not paying $500 for braids.
And I went ahead and screenshotted your hair, with your consent, because I'm going to take it to my stylist.
Listen, I will send you the Amazon
So
where I got the hair, everything. It could all be so simple. I will send it to you.
Yeah, I want to learn to start braiding my hair. I do like the convenience of it, but my braiding lady, she only charges me $150, which is a steal in LA. So I'm like, okay,
it is.
Yes.
Can
you
email me that?
Right.
I will.
I just say $250 for my daughter's hair, and she's 10.
No.
See?
Yeah.
Not for something that's going to be like, I get that back in the day it used to be that for a weave because we was getting that for months, but braids, like, I don't know.
Right.
I can't do it. We're not
and she's 10. I'm like, is there an age and a height requirement?
What's the kid's price?
right, the kid's price under 13.
I was like, yes.
You know what I'm saying? She looks amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys so much. Drumming with Jarvis popped in. He said, ask all the hard questions out the gate. Try and scare them off. The person that's ready will not be scared. They'll be mentally aroused by it.
Come on,
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that. Yep.
I like that.
It's a completely different approach because they're interested, and so they're gonna be in tune. So yeah,
very much
agree.
so. And
I
have a very a quote that I would say I live by at most times. It's, if a man wanted to, he would. Like, even if he's just starting out building something, like, from the ground up. If he wants to make you a part of that process, he will. And if he doesn't, he won't. And I'm not going to be here and convince any man of my worth, because why should I?
And they know when they want you. That's the reality of the situation. Is they know.
Yeah.
And so
they're hoping you don't know
that part.
And it's always written all over their face. Like,
yeah.
I understand society has made it hard for men to show their emotions, but they do it if they're not outwardly like that, you can pick up on it with your woman's intuition. Like, okay, there was a guy I was seeing, and he was like, I'd really love to start dating you, but I just don't have a financial means. And I was like, that's fine. I'm not asking you to be that. I was asking him at the time to just be consistent. And he couldn't, I think he couldn't do that because his feelings were getting involved. And he was like, women can't do that. And I was like, oh,
how you gonna tell me what I can do?
I mean,
right. And that's the other thing. It's like people want to tell you what you're capable of doing. No, I can handle this. I got me.
Absolutely. Like, I understand the statutes and limitations that I've put on us, and I'm going to stand by them. Like, okay, we don't have to go out in public. We meet here at the house because that's what casual is.
That's what we do. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where you wanted and where you were. I mean, it's really simple. If that's what I'm communicating, that's it. And that's something actually I want to talk to you guys about. Like, do you think we have skewed expectations when it comes to dating?
Define skewed. Like, do we change our standards?
Well, so I say skewed, right? Like you said a couple of things, like, we know it's hard for men to share their emotions. And, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, of course, depending on the guy. But it's like, I feel like they grew up obviously believing that that's something that they couldn't do, so to speak.
Right.
And then we show up and we ask them to do it, and now everybody's like all confused. So, or we have expectations that, okay, if he really likes me, he's able to tell me what's on his heart. But then we're not realizing that, if I think about it, he wasn't able to be honest about all of these things back in the day, or he was shamed for being honest. And that's the blockage of why he can't speak. So some people expect men to pay all the bills. Like your guy was like, well, women get attached. Women don't move like that, blah, blah. So I just feel like we have so many skewed expectations when it comes to dating. And I just, wanted to know how caught up in any of that you guys were getting. But I mean, and how that was going for you.
I'm a communicator, and
so am I.
And I'm an over communicator.
Yeah.
So working in psych also, I be trying not to therapize people. Right. But at the same time, just being very clear about what it is you want. If you're being honest, right? So like I said, I wanted to play for several years. And so I had to be honest with what did play look like. Did play involve sex? Did play involve me just talking with you on the phone? Did play involve eating? Did it involve traveling? Like, where's that line in the sand? So I think that as people, we have to get comfortable using our voice, using our throat chakra, using all the things and saying, you know what, this is what I want and this is what I want it to look like. And being okay with that person being like, nah, I'm not interested. And so I think that, as a people, we have skewed many parts of the dating game. Like, what is dating? Because I even asked people, like, what is dating to you? Because I realized that a lot of men were saying they were dating me. And I was like, oh, no, you're not, nigga. We went... No,
that's not what this is. We've been out.
My nigga, we went and ate food. Like, we're not dating. Like, let's what are you talking about? And so I think
that part
very clear. Yeah. So I think we just have to be very clear up front. And so it actually puts color to the picture that whatever it is that we're trying to, achieve.
Right. I agree with her. I think the dating pool has gotten a little muddy and murky, for lack of a better word, which I think that's why you have to go ahead and communicate. I'm an over communicator. So like I said, at the very first couple of dates, I'm like, oh, what are you looking for? Because I don't have time to waste. Like, if we're not looking for the same thing, that's perfectly fine, because there's going to be someone out there looking for exactly what you're willing to offer. And I feel like a lot of people, like, if you're just going to be consistent dick, which is different from friends with benefits, which is different from a fuck buddy. And I'm like, if you're going to be, I think the difference between the two S is friends and fuck. Like, okay, if we're going to be friends with benefits, like, I like dick and drinks. I like pizza and penis.
Right.
Pizza and penis. Yes.
She's like, I like it. Like, I'm here for that.
Like that works.
We can Netflix and chill and go to the do all the things. But if you just dick, show up that way. And that's why people get mad at Lori Harvey. Like, bro, like, let that girl do her. Like
she's allowed. And that's
She's
part of that
allowed.
skewed perspective. It's like, what is it about? Why she can't do that? Y'all do it all the time.
Men do it all the time. Like, where's
Future
this
is out here
standard?
running with 9 baby mamas. Nick Cannon
Thank
is out
you.
here really shooting cannons. And y'all
Right.
mad at that woman for communicating what exactly she wants, and
Right.
it doesn't work out, leaving?
Like, she's like, I'm not about it, and she steps away. But then she's labeled a hoe and all the things, and I'm like, sis, do you until you figure it out. You young. I wish I
She's
would have done that.
young. You know,
Correct.
me too. Like,
Me too.
I wish if I could go back and tell, like, high school me was worried, like, oh, like, who's really gonna marry me, and what about all of my imperfections, everything like that. Like, girl, look, there's 8 billion people in this world. You mean tell me you ain't gonna find one? Relax, go and see the world.
That's
figure out
hilarious.
yourself. You
Yes.
know, you are a budding
My
flower,
sister's
and allow
20.
yourself to bloom and grow.
And my sister's 20, and she's like, Dawn, she's like, what would you say to yourself if you was 20? The men will be there. The people
Exactly.
will be there.
Man.
They will
gonna
be there.
Go travel, get your stamps, run your money up, you know, look at your body, feed into yourself, you know, honor yourself, love your womb, love your mental health. And then when you love all of that, baby, the right man is going to show up and love all of that too. Or woman,
Exactly.
whatever it is that you like, they'll love, and they're going to love on you, and you'll be a whole person. So you won't be going out here experiencing these things. So
Exactly.
that's what I would tell a 20-year-old.
Right. I'd be like, hey, look, I think I would slap me real quick. Like, okay, you see what this man is doing while y'all are just boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, I'll never get the moment that he broke up with me in college and said that I just think you're putting our relationship before your relationship with God. And I was like,
Wow.
but you're not in my relationship. And me, I just ate it up like, wow, I guess I'm just not, really in my word like that. So that's exactly what I did. Just, instead of focusing and being like, all right, Dusty, like, cool. Like, I should have, as soon as you said that, I should have, like, bet. Because I was like, he was doing hypocritical things, like, got on me in college for going out to a club, which is something I'd never experienced before, but then turned around and did it himself. I was like, oh, so it's okay when you do it, but you had a whole
How's your walk with
connection.
Christ, bro?
But,
since we're talking about the Lord.
Right, since you brought him into this. Like, he might
right,
be
I'm like,
into.
like you standing at the gate, like, your name is Michael. Sir.
I see no wings and no halos. I'm going to need you to take it down a couple of notches. We got a rich guy.
Oh, that's so sweet.
The British guy here in Pizza Connoisseur. Just appreciating the lady on the far right.
That's my
We remember what that pizza came with. We remember
exactly.
Exactly. I had to give a pause there.
The new guy that I'm seeing, that's him. Yeah, that's the new guy I'm seeing. He's here. That's him. He's the British guy.
Hey, British guy.
I'm here for that. The support is already beautiful.
I love that.
Hi, Boo.
I love that. And yeah, I'm with you guys. I was going to ask you, now that you know more about yourself, what would you tell the 19-year-old version of yourself? And it's definitely all that, because there was so much of me that I couldn't see. I didn't know. You guys talked about your upbringing, and we'll share a little bit of that. But, my dad was a 20-year retired Marine and super Christian and all of these things. And he stayed with my mom even when things didn't look good. So I always thought, like, y'all know the ride or die area. I'm supposed to say that era was the whole thing. Like, I'm going to forgive him. I'm going to have my little grace and understanding. And we love each other. We're best friends. And meanwhile, I'm going through, when I look back, it's emotional abuse. And I just didn't know that. I'm like, yo, you're 19.
Yes.
You are not married to this man.
At all.
What are you doing?
Girl, snap out of it.
Was giving all the wifely privileges. Like,
we
did wait until marriage, which I'm like, okay, I'm glad for that, because I hadn't experienced anyone else. So it's nice to kind of unpack that. Mm-hmm. So all the sexual things I wanted to do, we just simply could not do, because I don't think that was all, like, some things he were into. Yes. Like the vanilla things that you want to try, but there were some other things I wanted to try. And it just seemed like there wasn't any leeway for that. So I think I would sit 19-year-old me down, and we would have a serious sit down. I'd be like, hey, look, leave that man alone. You're gonna, if you want to find out who you're going to become, you can definitely continue on this ride, but just know it's going to cost you a piece of you. And at the end of it, your siblings are going to say, Joe, we didn't recognize you. Like, wow. It was always, let me check in with him. Let me see what he wants to do. Like, they hated him, but they were also like, we didn't recognize you. And I realized, like, there was a small piece in between those 4 years before we separated. Like, I missed so much, like so many vacations that my family went on, so many things that my siblings did with school and their sports and everything like that I didn't go to because we lived 45 minutes away. I feel like purposely, although he was going to school out there, I wanted to move closer so I could be closer to my family. And he didn't want to. He's like, well, God didn't reveal that to me, and you have to make this long drive. Like I felt like he was intentionally separating me from my family because he knew how close we were.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
That's one of the first thing that people do is isolate. I would definitely tell my 19. Well, first of all, I don't have any regrets because I have children involved. So I'm like,
oh, the baby.
You know, yeah. So for me, it was worth it, right? But at the same time, I'm very like I'm okay with telling myself like, you know, you were in it, you did what you could do, and sis, you're good. So I would just tell my younger self that you're gonna be all the things that you thought you would be and more, and enjoy the ride. That's it.
Yeah.
Like just live, sis. You know, it's so many people that want to say like, oh, like even I had family members that didn't even know the story. My mom knew the story. My dad knew the story. But even they didn't know it until real time when I had to go lay at their house because he told me to get out the house. But so even
Bucko.
they didn't know because I was too busy protecting the marriage, protecting the image, protecting what people thought, protecting my kids, protecting, but I wasn't protecting me. And so that's what I would tell my 19-year self. Protect you at all costs. If mommy's not happy, the kids aren't happy. If you know, and that's what I would tell myself.
Yeah, that's major and that's beautiful. And if for me, it'd be the same along those lines. And, you know, before I got engaged, I actually walked away from him. I had a little bit of sense, but then he hit me with the I love. I had a little bit. It was this big. But then he hit me with the I love you because I was ignoring him as I should have. And then he came back and my whole world was, you know, turned around. And I didn't know what healing really was. Like we weren't having these conversations 20 years ago about going to a therapist, healing your heart, aligning your chakras. Like what? I turned on R&B and cried. Like that's what I had.
Right. A CD at that. So like
it was a CD. Like
Mary J. Blige.
I mean, Mary J. got us through. Okay. And, you know, so I love where we are now. I think we're definitely, like our age range and everything that us women of this range is going through is going to be that change, that generational change. It's not going to be what our grandparents did, what our parents did. We know. And I think the kids behind us, meaning like the 19-year-olds now, know a little bit more about self. Yeah. You know? And then they have mothers like you know, Dawn, who could say, this is what I did, this is what I would. I didn't have that. I don't know if I did, if I would have listened, but.
Right.
It helps. Exactly. It helps to at least get the advice. Yeah,
exactly.
It definitely helps. I'm going to go to, what did Jarvis say? The problem isn't the do you in the now. It's just when you're doing you without thinking about the future you, it will impact that. Men value your past, not your future. Okay, that's fair.
That is true.
I understand that.
I can see that. Thank you, Jarvis.
Yeah, I think that was beautifully said and well put, because there are, like, when you do go out on dates and everything, like, your past does come up. And I think men like to know, like, who you were before in order to become the woman you are now, or the woman you are on your journey to becoming. And if that's if that's a journey they want to go on with you.
Exactly. I can agree with that.
And it matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was having we're still, you know, I'm talking to someone. These labels, good Lord, I don't know what's what.
I hate them so much.
You just gotta go with it. You heard me.
You
like,
know,
yes, I got a bae.
Yeah, I got a bae.
Like I got a bae. We're happy. We're in a good place.
Yeah. Right. We be talking all the time. So, and we go out. So we're dating and talking, whatever it is. But I do notice that, you know, there was something that happened between us, and it did revive the need for me to talk about what I had been through, so he could understand, okay, well, when this little thing comes up, I'm seeing it and I'm working on it, but it came from this. Like, this is where this issue came from. This is where this static is coming from. And I think being able to share your past is extremely important. So that way, if you're dealing with somebody who's even, you know, halfway emotionally intelligent, they can work with you on the growth and you guys can grow together. But without that, I don't know, you're just too in the dark, because there's so much about our past that kind of layers who we are now. So I think it's all important and valuable. So I love that he brought that up.
Right. No, that's really good, because then what happens is when you try to leave out the past, right, you're going to end up meeting that representative. Anybody could show up and put on,
right?
You know, but and I'm not saying your past, you don't live in the past, but your past does dictate who you become in your journey and what you're working through. And God forbid, like you said, a trigger or something happens, and then you're like, wait, how do I respond to this? But communicating through that helps.
Yeah.
Right.
Knowing what it is, what it looks like, who you've been, where you've been. Like, let's talk about it. SJ says, is that protection of the relationship ever reciprocated? I think when you know, when we protect the relationship from our families and stuff, until you got to end up on their couch because
right.
You're not
surprise.
Right. Like, was that ever reciprocated? Good question, SJ.
Oh, that's a really good question. I feel like yeah, because we kind of just lived our lives in our bubble, and I don't think anybody knew what was going on in between those four walls. And what I've learned now is, and that's the other thing. As women, we have to stop. When we're in these relationships, our friends, we distance them. No, baby, keep them. Keep them. Because that sisterhood is important. And so I distanced, yes, it is. And I distanced so many people that there was nobody that I could ask for advice. There was no one I could talk to. Right. And so when people were like, we had no idea, they didn't, because I didn't feel even safe communicating to them. Because I'm like you said, I always tell people, we're that generation that's in between. So it's like, be loyal at all costs, right? Where your man goes to work and you don't know what he's doing because you don't see him when he leaves at 6, and you don't see him until he come back at 6, sometimes 7. Okay. You ain't have no cell phone, nothing. And so, but then we're also that generation that got the internet. We got the AOL,
Yeah.
So we also kind of set the tone for communication, and that shit was toxic, because then you texting, hey, what you doing? Where you at? Blah, blah, blah. And so, so we're that in between generation that had to kind of fine tune things and figure it out, right? And so that said, I wasn't really telling people my business, because that's not how I grew up. Like, what, sis? Go vent to your friend? Nah, because y'all might end up being married longer. What, sis? Ask for advice. Is this controlling that he does this? No, I didn't do that. But now I'll hop on the phone. Girl, let me tell you.
We can be sitting right next to the dude now and be like,
right.
So now it's different, or you can Googles, you can do all the things. We just didn't have the same access then, or the same knowledge base. And it was like you said at the beginning, sticking with your man or your person at all costs. And now we know better. Nah, like, it is controlling. Let's talk about it. Let's see what it looks like. How can we finesse this? How can we fix it? How can we make it work for our dynamic?
Right. And I agree with that. I feel like we're the generation, there's a generation that grew up with the internet, and we're the generation that grew up with the internet. Like, as the internet was forming and becoming what it is today, we grew up with it, versus the children today who have access to YouTube and have all of that, you know, like they grew up with having the internet. And so I think as far as like the reciprocation goes, I don't think so. I think we both did it. Like, he vented to his friends, and then he suggested friends that I should have. So my friends who I grew up with, my friends that I grew up with and everything like that, like, he wasn't too fond of them. And I remember at one point he was like, what can they teach you besides having a baby out of wedlock? And I was like,
oh, sorry.
Not shame.
You feel me? I'm like, that's very wild and judgmental of you. Like, he was very, very judgmental. And like, as far as like venting to friends, we did have one mutual friend of ours, and she was married to his best friend. But come to find out, he wasn't very fond of her either. So it was like everybody who he didn't think I should be good friends with, he just kind of like was like, oh, I don't think you should talk to them because they're not married. So what kind of advice can they give you? Which isn't always true, because your single friends can still be like, hey, sis, like, not gonna hold you. You was wrong. Like, dead wrong. Like, go in there and apologize to that man. Like just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you don't understand right from wrong. And they'll always have your back. But if you have the right women around you, like, they're definitely gonna hold you accountable. Like, I'll text my sisters and be like, my sisters told me just yesterday, after I was talking to them last week, like, am I wrong? My sister, let me tell you something. If you come in here and you ask me, you're wrong, me, I ignore you. I said,
Exactly.
Oh,
and my other sister was like, I'm gonna block
She
you.
went-
She said, I'm gonna block you for 24 hours because you sitting here trying to give a pink slip to a good man, and I shan't be a part of it. I said, okay.
That part. Okay, sis.
Am
I
I
mean,
the drama? Okay.
those are the conversations that are needed.
Yeah.
And when someone's isolating you because, oh, I'm not fond of them, I don't like them, or the baby out of wedlock, when they're doing that, they're putting these barriers in place with intention. And that is to
Exactly.
isolate you. That is so you can only feel like you can turn to them. And
Exactly.
they got to figure out where that came from within them. But as a woman,
Exactly. Hurt people will hurt people because there was just very wild times and things that he said. Like I remember I was like, okay, well, I can go to my mom for advice, and he's like, well, your mom isn't really submissive to your dad, so what can I was like, first of all,
you got a problem with everybody, sir?
Dang,
I was
not the
like,
mama.
I was like, first of all, my parents one open up their home to you. Two, my parents been married for the last 20 plus years, and three, you are talking out of pocket because no one like your mom isn't even married. Like you talking about an unsubmissive woman. Like I was like, there's no way. Multiple baby daddy, there's no way. Like
if you
don't
really
do
want to
that.
get into it, yeah.
Right. And I loved his mom. Like I thought she was an amazing woman. She taught me how to cook Southern style, something I hadn't had. I think she's great. So I was like, why? And he would also like speak terribly about her. I was like, okay, but she's a human being. Okay. So what I should have done was seen the sign there and see like if that's how you treat and talk about your mom, like and the things that I said just now was things that he said about his own mom, and I was like, like you never want to talk down talk down to your mom about talk down on your mom to anyone. And I was like, that's not cool and that's not nice. But I like looking back at it now, I realized that hurt people, and he had a lot of things that he had to work on. I don't know if he's been to therapy since then, but I just know that I was dealing with a hurt man individual, and I didn't kind of realize that at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't learn how to put a label on that. We didn't know what that
We didn't
was.
know.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I was like, damn,
Agreed.
he really was narcissistic and very much like emotionally and psychologically abusive. And it was so wild because everyone I talked to, like including my friend, like his best friend and my best friend at the still my best friend, they were like married and they got married, like even at that time, like they didn't realize what he was doing. And they're like, no, like Sergey would never do that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, none of you lived and was married to this man. None of you saw what was going on behind closed doors. So whatever facade he was presenting when we weren't there, like it was completely different from who he was at home.
I'm gonna offer you this. People can be two things at once. So he probably was a wonderful friend.
Right.
But like you said, he was showing up differently in that marriage. So people can be two things at once. So you know what I mean? So he probably was a wonderful person, and they probably were right. That's who they got. That's who they seen. That's who he showed up as. But who you got was a completely different version of him.
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? No. And it wasn't until after we got divorced and they started hanging out with him like separately, they started to see some of the things that I was telling about.
Right.
And
because now it's showing up.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my best friend's husband came back and he's like, you know what? He's like, I apologize to you because when you were trying to tell me, like, I didn't see it. He's like, but now I see it. So going forward, I'm definitely going to check him on that because no, like, we're not going to do this a second time, because I believe he was getting remarried at the time, and he was noticing things that was happening, like things he would say to his now I think at the time they were like engaged. And so he's like, no, I see what you mean now. And going forward, I'm definitely going to hold him accountable to that because that's not cool. Like, I'm sorry I didn't see it before, but I do now. And it warmed my heart so bad because he's also like a good friend of mine. I was like, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate you,
like,
you seeing me.
It's like James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni. Have you ever seen that clip? Watch the whole thing. It's great. But there's a clip where she tells him, she's like, no, lie to me. Like, when you go to work and you're with the white man, you're like, yes, sir, yes, I got this. And then I come home and I get the worst part of you. You know? And she's like, show up for me the way you show up for them.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody was like, oh, why is she saying lie to me? That's not what she's saying. She's saying, I
give me what you give them.
That part. And
give
so
me
that's
what
what happens a lot of times is when these men come behind these closed doors, we're getting the unshelved them, the part of them that's dealt with this resistance in the world, the part of them that was a fatherless child, the part of them, so it's difficult. And definitely, I think for both of us, age played a big role.
Yes. Very much
Because
so.
of course these are probably not relationships that we would ever even entertain or establish again. We would see
No.
all the red flags. We'd be like,
No.
wait, what you say?
And move
What you say, bro?
accordingly.
Right,
Okay,
and
heard
move
you.
accordingly.
Heard you.
So thank God it was a part of our journey. But at this point, it wouldn't even be something that presented.
Exactly. Like,
Exactly. There's nothing in my auric field right now that would be drawing any of that. Like, don't even try
Period.
me. You just know not to come over
Period.
here with that.
Right.
Right.
And so it's
Like,
almost like, you know,
Yeah.
like when you're not whole, there's these spaces that people can fill. It's like
Yeah.
the Swiss cheese effect, and they can
Yeah.
fill those holes and those gaps and make you feel whole. But now you be like, it's a whole shield. You be like, no,
Yeah.
right. No,
not
no,
interested.
thank you.
Yeah, there's no
No
holes
thanks.
in this over here. So you need to meet me full and we can do that. But
That part.
you're not about to catch me slipping. Not this time.
Right.
We did that
Thank
already.
you.
Jarvis has a question. He said, curious question. Do most women have honest tribes that actually give unbiased advice? I would say
Yes.
I would say yes. That's like the
I would
best
say
part.
I'm going to say absolutely, but again,
Yeah.
I think we're all
Yes.
speaking from us, because if you trash, you attract trash, and your friends are going to give you trash ass advice. But
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
think we have three good, wonderful women that are sitting up here who are wholesome people, and we probably, you know, fed into ourselves enough, so we surround ourselves with good people who we can trust. So I would say absolutely yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Nobody in my circle's on that all men are dogs thing.
Yeah,
Like, we didn't
right.
go
None
out
of that.
Like, we don't.
Right.
It's subjective, and I think Jolesa, you mentioned it too. Like, your sister's gonna tell you, like, don't come over here with that. You already know, and I know you. So,
And
Right.
I know you.
No.
And you're getting
Right.
blocked. And
Yeah.
you're getting blocked.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And my
check this
best
out.
friend my best friend be the same way. I'd be like, am I the drama? Yes. Yes, girl, you are. Oh, okay. All right, let me go in there and apologize.
My friend already knows. When I call her, I'd be like, hey, girl. And she'd be like, nope.
Just let me vent first, and then we can get to the meat and potatoes. Let me have my attitude. I'm a
Right.
Gemini. I need to go full stank first.
Oh, it's two of y'all.
Yeah.
It's two of y'all anyway.
Let me go full stank first, and then we can get into accountability and all that. But right now,
Right.
Because it's two of y'all.
Yeah,
It's two of y'all. So
exactly.
yeah, there's an accountable one, but I'm gonna start this way.
Exactly.
It's in there.
At least you own it though.
I do.
Right.
It's just, you know, the people that know and love me, like, she let her pop off. She gonna have a moment. Then I'll be like, all right, what do I really need to do? Yeah, how do we?
My mom and my sister are Geminis, and I'll be like, oh Lord, but they come back.
They
Always.
do.
People I know
They do.
that will cuss you out and tell you they love you in the same breath. I'll be like,
Literally.
and mean all of it.
Yes.
and mean
yes.
all of it.
That's funny. And meaning, while SJ, she's asking which of the two versions is typically the individual's true self, though. And I think it's all of it. Like, we all have a shadow side. Like, you can't let that. I talk to my shadow because I can see when I'm driving, or when, now that I know what it is, and when I'm in full attitude mode, I don't got to let her fly. I can notice, like, oh, okay, I'm saying stuff under my breath, I'm feeling some kind of way. And it's not like a true reflection of my entire character, but we get attitudes, we get hungry, we get aggravated, we have things that we've been through, and no, it doesn't look, it's not what I would present to the world, but like, we have thoughts, we sit down at our own tables with our own girlfriends and have, you know, but we're all of that. But I think you can put that shadow part at bay at some point and be like, all right, girl, I hear you. You just hungry.
And honoring yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, because I was wondering, I don't, is she talking about your truth, or is she talking about how you, when I said you can be two people at once, is that what she's talking about?
That, yeah, like how, and too with Jolesa's man, like how he could show up as the good friend and do this, and then
I think we do it unknowingly. It's just like when we code switch and we go to work, or we answer something, hello. So I think you can. I think it's encompassing. I think you can be. I think you can be all the things. So which one is the true you? It's all you. You know. It's just how you choose to show up, and which one that people are getting most of. And so she got the husband version of him, and so hopefully with some healing and with some work and sitting on somebody's couch and having maybe even a homeboy or somebody to talk to, maybe he's showing up a little bit differently. But I think that you can, and even like how we're talking about with us, like, yeah, you can definitely be all the people. And I even have to stop myself with the guy that I'm dating. I be wanting to be toxic as fuck sometimes. I be wanting to be so toxic. And then I tap in and I'm like, you know what? But these are all the things that you've done all of this healing and this work for. So show up differently. And so I literally have to have inner conversations with myself, because sometimes I be wanting to be toxic.
Listen.
Okay, that's what
Bruh.
I'm saying. Hey, look, just because I work in psychology don't mean I'm not working through stuff myself.
Bruh, you posted
Okay.
on the gram before you messaged me back, okay? But then but at the but what is that gonna fix? You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I choose my battles.
Oh, see,
and that's okay because it's better you know that than trying to act like it don't exist. That's so much harder.
Exactly.
Yes, for real.
Like this bothered me, and I also think another quote that a lot of people should hear, and I use all the time, is like, it's very possible for two truths to exist at once. Yeah, and so all of, like, I can still be angry and have an attitude and everything like that, but I can also be bubbly and outgoing and an extrovert, like, but that's all still me. I don't feel like I have a different side. I think I get, like, I'm a little bit more, what's the word? I don't overthink as much when I meet the person, but then when I start to like them, my mind is like a million miles per second. I'm like, okay, what if he doesn't like this? Or what if he doesn't like how I look when I'm naked? Or, oh my God, what if this? And how do I know he likes that? And he's like, all right, yeah, breathe. And I was like, who's not breathing? I'm breathing. He's like, are you? Are you?
And it's like all four of you are talking in here, but we just gotta check on each other.
Exactly. He's like, oh, okay, you know. Just a quick conversation with the girls.
I mean,
so I literally sent him a text the other day and introduced him to all 25 of myself. Like, I put a list. Like, I'm all of them.
I'm trying to help you here.
And I'm trying to help you. Like, I gave you the cheat code. I really did. You did. Like, so that's the cheat code to me. So
I was just about to say that, SJ. Like, people are so complex. Like, especially women. I feel like men are complex too. They just don't show it as much. But I was about to say, we are so complex. We're right here, girl. We're here.
Yeah.
But that's also, I'm on the fence with the men part, because we'll hear, oh, we just want food, sex, and peace. And I'm like, no, sir. You got a lot more going on than food, sex, and peace. So let's just not pretend that that's all you need to function, because I call it the glacier. It's like above water, you're seeing this, and then below it's all this stuff that you're not seeing, but you're thinking or and you're feeling it, addressing, and then you're trying to give me this van version. It's big, it's a glacier. Like, I can see it on the map, it's amazing. But what are you not telling me? What are you not? I would like to get to the point where we can dive into that, because you are reacting to me in certain ways, and there might be things that I'm doing that trigger you and I don't know, and then you're not saying anything, and now you're feeling cold and shut down, or you're feeling this, and you got all this, you got the same stuff going on I do.
Exactly.
You had to want to pop me upside my head at some point today.
You feel me? Trip me down the stairs and don't ask if I need help.
Right.
So I think women are more vocal about their feelings. So my son is 15. My daughter said my son's 15. And he has a girlfriend. She's 17, and so her birthday's in December.
Excuse me, right? Sophomore with the senior.
Okay.
So he skipped a grade. So he's like, really, she's not a cougar, but we ain't gonna get into that.
Okay. We got beauty and brains, like it's
right. I was like, okay. So he, his girlfriend, her birthday's in December. So he's like, he gets her all this stuff, like everything on her list. And I was like, bro, what you gonna get her for Christmas? He's like, oh, she don't want them for Christmas. And I said, she's a girl. She's a woman.
She definitely does.
She don't want them for Christmas.
Yeah.
So
right.
Christmas comes, and he ain't got her nothing. So we fumbling around. I'm trying to find stuff because I always got something. And I was like, and so then when she came, I gave her the little gift that we had. It was a bottle with some crystals at the bottom. And then I told him, I said, I told you. And he said, women are so complex. I said, bro, that's like her saying, I'm not going to get you nothing for your birthday in April. No, that's not close.
Yeah.
That's not close.
Is, though.
And I said, we're not measuring proximity. We're measuring the thought.
So, exactly.
2 different holidays.
Right.
My birth.
That's what it is.
And
Christmas.
That's 2 different things. I don't care if it's the 24th and the 25th. We're doing 2. Like, what are we doing?
We're doing 2.
What's the plan?
And so I ended up ordering her something, and she got the other gifts. But also, he realized in that moment, she's right. I do want something in April. I hope she shows up for me in April. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so it's not the proximity of distance to December. You can't just say that, So he learned. So I'll say this. I'll say that women are more vocal, and men are more like they're thinking it a lot of the time. And then when it happens, they're like, dang, I wish you would have considered me on that day.
That's what I'm saying. So, and that gotta feel some kind of way if you walking around here like your birthday's not a big deal, then your birthday come and I'm like, Happy birthday, champ. And it's a problem.
Right.
Like, you good? Like,
They're gonna be like, what you mean, my boy? Well,
Right.
you said. But even when they
No,
say that it's not a big deal. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I sent my man flowers to work yesterday, and he was like,
I
"I've
love
never gotten
that.
flowers," and he
You
was
know
like,
what I'm
"I've
saying?
never gotten flowers," and he was just so like his response was everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't call him my man. Hold on.
Oh. And I was just rolling with it.
That's that Freudian slip. Just slip right over there.
Right.
Right.
Hold on. Y'all know what I meant. But yeah, and just knowing that I told him, I said, who says man can't get flowers? Like, you deserve your flowers too.
Yes.
And he was excited about the flowers. He sent them to me, and I was mad that they sent him these raggedy flowers because they didn't look good. But he liked them.
It was the thought.
So it was the thought. And so I think that men put on more than they know.
Right.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
this is that skewed expectation. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly.
Yes. Jolesa, what were you gonna say?
No, go ahead, finish.
No, that was
wait.
But it's just to touch back to that thing with skewed. Men don't like flowers. Men don't with their emotion. Men don't, like, we have all of these things, and it's like, but are we listening to the person, the individual? Are we learning? Like, is that how much of it is true, and how much of it are we showing up in? That's like this old folklore that doesn't exist.
Exactly. Yes. That was nothing but just a fallacy in the first place, an urban legend. That's I feel like. So my love language is gifts and quality time. And I always show up for my man in that way because that's how I like to be loved. So that's how I'm going to give it. How they may choose to receive love is different. Like, I know for the guy that I'm seeing, my boo, his thing is quality time. And he like reminded me of that yesterday. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Like, I really appreciate that. Like, I didn't know. It took me a little minute to like hold accountability. Like, damn, okay, I'll take this L. But like, I think it's just that for men also that they, like, when they're like, oh, my birthday isn't a big deal or you don't have to do anything, like, that's not true. Like, they just haven't had that in the past. And I'm all about supporting my man. Like, he's not even my man yet. And I've already like, oh, okay, like, I got things in place and planned that I want to do for like, because Valentine's Day is coming up. And I was like, okay, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, I got these kind of plans. Because he might be watching, girl. I want to say.
I mean,
hey, yeah, don't say it, girl. Keep it secret.
So I'm just like, I think when someone shows up for you, like, naturally, you want to make sure that they're feeling the same kind of love that they're offering. And I feel like sometimes men don't know about that because they haven't received it. So I'm like, that's okay, baby, because you got me now.
Because I got you. Because I got you.
We're doing this now.
I got you. Like, it's fine. Yes. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it. No, I love that. That's facts. SJ said, Dawn, you just manifested. You finna hit us back like, it's official.
Right, she really did.
It's
official. Me and my man, we're like doing great.
Right. Hey, I'm here for that. I'm here for it.
I love it. That makes my heart so happy. Y'all are such beautiful ladies. You deserve, like, we deserve this love. Like, what are we doing? We only get to live once. Like, we need to be like loving and giving and sharing and growing and evolving and
all the time.
All the time.
All the buzzwords. That's what I tell people. We're gonna be all the buzzwords. Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's
too short.
It is.
The only thing constant about
but it's the longest thing we'll do.
Exactly. The only thing constant about people is change. And I saw something on Twitter like before I had started seeing the guy that I am with now that said like you need to do checkups like every 6 months or every 3 months. Like, hey, how are you feeling? Do you still feel like you're receiving the love that you need? Has it changed? Do you need something different? How are you feeling? Like those conversations may be hard, but they're necessary. Yeah. So that way you can shift or transition in the way that you may be giving the love or you're receiving it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, let's do it together. That's what we're here for. So let it be hard, but like, it's going to be harder not to do it at all.
Exactly.
Right. I agree.
You think so it'll be on this dating pool?
Right. So build that foundation. Be constantly building, constantly checking in. How are you? What do you need? Am I meeting your needs? These are conversations that people are unwilling to have.
Yeah.
And that's when cheating manifests. And that's when all of these things happen, because the communication was lacking.
And it never fixes anything because the communication was lacking. So it's going to lack in the next phase too.
It is.
Exactly.
It is. Cheating isn't going to fix it. Like, we still have a problem here. You still were not clear. Yeah. And couple that with the inability to problem solve.
Right.
It's just like
lack of emotional intelligence or, like so many things.
Yeah. A hotter girl, a more fun girl, a girl who don't ask you to do this or who does that. It's not going to change that bottom line. There is going to be conflict and there needs to be resolution. And it doesn't have to be, we arguing all the time, but y'all know what I'm saying. We have to overcome together through willingness, communication, and being able to see each other and letting it be hard. Like, do I want to be told that what I'm doing ain't working for him? No, I don't want to hear that. But can I be mature enough to be like, okay,
to receive it, and say, you know what?
Yes,
I'm gonna compromise. I'm gonna
Yes.
co-promise. And if you don't, throwing something back at them. Okay, well, I can't meet you that way, but I can show up this way.
Right, compromise.
Exactly. And so just being honest in those areas and showing up, because we're not perfect, and we're all trying to find a way. But if you want to navigate this life with a partner before you're old, crippled, decrepit, whatever it may be, and have somebody with you that is going to be able to make those life decisions and life calls, then you got to invest in that. We invest in businesses, we invest in dogs, we invest in houses. Invest in your partner and show up and be like, you know what, babe, this is what I need for you to do. Don't hit it this way, hit it this way, because that's the way I like it. Baby, don't do this, do that. Or, and being okay with having those conversations, because I know it's a conversation that's coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
Exactly. I completely understand that, because I had to take an L last night. He's like, quality time, and I didn't realize how serious what about it until I went over there and I did paperwork, and he's like, right, so, and I was like, okay, like, dang, and I had to eat that, and I was like, you know what, you're absolutely right, thank you for telling me, like, I'll make sure, because, like, when you're setting aside that time for that person, like, they want to be given that time, because you have both decided, like, okay, we're not going to do anything right now, except, like, make sure we're in tune and give that time to each other. I hadn't had anybody, like, ever hold me accountable to that, because my sibling will definitely say, like, out of all of us, I'm probably the most attached to my phone.
Oh, wait, the most attached. I missed that last little part.
And I know, me too. Her whole screen went black. Maybe somebody's calling. Oh, my friend Monique is here. Hey, Monique. Amen. Hey, girl.
Yes.
Your phone went out.
Yeah. So you said you never
of everyone, you're attached to your father, maybe?
Oh no. Out of all my siblings, I'm the most attached to my phone.
Oh,
and so, yeah. And so
you would have got that all messed up.
Yes, girl. I didn't say father.
Right.
Pardon?
And so I think it's just like, I haven't had anybody hold me accountable to that, because, like, the guys I'm seeing, like, they're on their phone too. And so I was like, oh, okay, like, I heard you. Like, I'm gonna have to take this big old giant pill with no water labeled an L. I'm like, okay, going forward, I will make sure that I do not do that. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. At the time, I was like,
he made time for you. He made that time for you. So you got to respect that time. And
So
said, hey, look, you opened this talking about the time being the biggest currency. So I'm happy that you were.
Right, because I was like, what do you think your love language is? He's like, quality time while we're here. And I was like,
okay. Oops.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
And then it kind of goes back to the things you guys were saying on the show. Dawn, you're like, we need therapy. And you're telling your guy, like, I need you to see me. I need a little bit of more emotional support. I need to feel sexy with you. And you're just not going to do nothing.
I think the problem is that we were taught, it's an unhealed person speaking to an unhealed person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're telling them our needs, and they're meeting us with resistance because they don't feel a need to meet our needs.
Right, exactly.
So it's an unhealed person talking, and nothing's going to come from that. Like, that's just bad math. Nothing's going to come from that.
Agreed.
So I think, when I was looking back at the show, because after I let that out on the show, I just dropped it. And it was crazy how that happened. I had to watch it like everybody else did. And I think one of the things that I realized was that I was this person who hadn't addressed all of the things that she needed to address. Yeah. And he was this grown ass man who hadn't addressed anything and wasn't willing to. And so that's how we were showing up in a whole marriage.
Right.
Yeah. And then not only that, with unhealed people, what I'm finding is that unhealed people don't do well. And not unhealed people. First of all, I am not so evolved that I'm just so healed. And
right. We're all ever healing. So
this is a process.
We're going to be healing the rest of our lives. Right. If it ain't our joints and bones, it's going to be our mind.
So. Exactly.
So let me reword that, because it makes the unhealed people. Like,
those.
But, sometimes when people aren't healed in certain areas, they don't know how to give themselves what they need. So It's
Absolutely.
like, not only do you not know how to ask me, you don't even know how to ask yourself.
That
you
part.
never check in with yourself. You do everything for everybody else, and whatever unhealed situation that is, whether you're a people pleaser or want to feel accepted or whatever it is, you first got to know how to check in with you before you even know how to communicate what it is that I can do for you and where I'm, so it's an amazing thing to be able to do that. Before one of my last questions, I wanted to get into these comments because Rich Guy was in here spitting. He said, talking back to when we were talking about tribes, I think it's very telling of your partner, which is your vibe attracts your tribe. I always say that.
Agreed.
A person's circle judgment can at many times make or break a relationship. Having unbiased support and open conversation is so important.
That's right. You tell them.
That's right. Yeah, he was getting his. Jarvis was like, "Yes, that's facts."
Yes.
They can and will ruin your relationship or help it win. It's very true.
Exactly.
Yep.
And even though my best friends, when he was like, "Oh, what can they teach you?" and everything like that, although they didn't like him, they still were like, "Hey," like holding me accountable with everything. Like, you know how we feel about him, but this is the person you chose, so.
Hey, look, he's smitten. I'm here for it.
He's very wise. He's very wise. I like him a lot.
I like him too.
I do too. We
look, hold on. Not me trying to look at his picture. Hold on.
Right.
Oh, like, girl, you look good, girl. I'm just like, I can't see him.
A little British, yes. Oh, he got the flying colors. Thank you. I was like, okay, let me take a moment to not respond and feel like I'm being attacked. This is him communicating his feelings.
Yeah.
And I took a moment, and before I even opened my mouth, I swallowed, took a breath. Because he always like comes to me calm and everything like that. So I'm like, we like him too.
Well, that's why, like, even my guy, he will check me politely. And I always tell people, when a lion comes into the room, he ain't got to roar. His presence is enough. His presence is enough. And so I'm
amazing.
Like,
that's so manly.
Yeah, he has that. He'll say something in such a calm, and I'll be like, okay.
Oh, right. Okay. Like, I heard you. And I told him, like, I was telling him, like, the personality I have when I walk in the room. But what I didn't say to him yesterday, like, he also has that personality. Like, when he walks in the room, like, he commands the attention of the room. Because he's a very unique person. Like, everybody wants to know who's the guy who just walked in the room. And so, like you said, a lion doesn't always have to roar. It just has to enter the room.
That's it.
And I was like, oh, okay, boo.
Okay. And that's the thing. And I told him, I said, I'm tired of wearing the drawers. I don't want to wear the drawers. I don't want to drive the bus. I don't want to do none of that. And so I can appreciate that I can show up that way.
Me too. Like, it's so refreshing. Like, my uncle told me over Christmas, given the drinks were flowing, but, drunk men not telling no tales in our
drunk
family,
uncles.
Okay?
Yeah.
He was like, Joe, he was like, he was like, I see why you feel that way. He's like, but that's because you've never had a man show up and take care of everything for you. You've never had a man show up and take care of all your bills, take care of everything, so you don't have to worry besides showing up and adding value to their lives and like making sure that they feel, peace, respect, and sex. And I was like, damn, that's so true. Like, looking at my last 6 months of my life, it's been nothing but stress. Nothing but stress. And now I've met, the guy that I'm seeing, and he like helps alleviate that stress. And I'm like, dang, like, it's just kind of refreshing, but I haven't been able to appreciate it because of how I've been treated in the past. But I'm learning to, as my friend says, bask in it. So I'm like, okay,
that's what I
let me give
too,
this a whirl, because I haven't had this in the past, and I'm not gonna let a good man slip through my fingers just because I'm being a head ass.
No,
right? No, and that's being able to communicate that and see that in yourself is enough, because it's gonna take time, and you can give yourself grace too, because you don't go from years of being done a certain way and then now you've built up thought processes to keep yourself safe, functions. There's all of these things that now have to be undone. So it's like, please, babe, like, just be patient with me. I see it and I hear you, and it's gonna take a little bit of time, and that is okay. Like,
and also honoring people in their season.
Yeah.
So I think we forget that too. Like, a lot of people try to make me say that I regret my past, and I told you guys this, but I honor that season. So honor whatever, however he's showing up, whatever he teaches you, whatever even if he's not the person, which I hope for you he is, sis. But even if
Me
he's
too,
not,
girl. Me too.
but just knowing, because now you have something, you have a barometer to measure that to. So you can
Yes.
subscribe to how he's showing up. Like, yeah, this is, take note. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I love this about him.
And let me
You know
focus
what I
on
mean?
that.
Let me focus
Exactly.
on that. You know, so appreciating it and just and loving who you're becoming within that too.
Right. And he did let me know, like, you know, it's been a little bit confusing. Like, oh, you want me to do this? Or, oh, you want me to pull back? And I'm like, I know, I get it.
I'm
I'm sorry,
confusing
but
it. I know.
right.
I know. I'm confusing
And
it.
I understand, and I'm sorry. I'm really working out through myself, and because I'm an over communicator, I've been expressing all those times to him, and I think it's given him, like you said, it's been confusing. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do better. Like, you know, just I'm grateful that you're patient enough to bear with me, because most people be like, no, sorry, you
She's
find
crazy.
somebody else to do it. Right?
She's crazy.
Right.
He literally said that this morning, like, she's crazy. I'm like, but crazy about you,
Right? my response is exactly. You know,
he's like,
I saw
still
this.
crazy.
I saw this meme the other day. It was something like, "I can't do this no more with you. I hope you have a good night." And then it was like, just something about I just want to be here for you. And then it was like, but I can't do this no more. We got to stop talking. And he's like, you making chicken and nighty if you want me to. Like,
Right.
all in one line.
And then they was like, good morning. I'll see you.
It's like, I'm going through it. Like, this is what it looks like. Give me a second.
This is what it looks like.
Right.
That's
And
what it looks like.
It does.
And I'm grateful that he's been patient enough with me to, like, go on the ride and the journey with me. He's like, okay, I see where you're at. Like, now, like, this morning, I was like, after I came back from a cruise, because I was like thinking about him the entire time, like, oh, we could be doing this, we could explore that. And I was like, dang, Joe, this man really got you in a chokehold. And we only met at the beginning of January, and the way that we've, like, fallen in sync is
time is
insane.
relative.
Insane.
I always tell people that time is relative.
Exist.
And
what is that?
I tell my person, like, look, we're not over here clocking time. We're gonna enjoy this, and we're gonna create this the way that we want to create it.
Yep.
F everybody else.
And you're allowed that.
And we're allowed that. So, you know.
Which I
tell people
about.
Time is God's business. We think we know so much about time, and it's like, really?
We do, because somebody decided to put 24 hours in a day, bruh.
Do we even know if that's right? We don't know enough about
that's the thing. Do we know
about anything?
Do we know Arizona decided not to do what is that?
Daylight savings.
They decided not to. So
just
you just gonna skip it. Now we out this year. We out.
Right.
We're not doing that no more. You know,
thank you,
so
time is
man-made. Time
is man-made. It's really
which
man-made.
is why you 40 looking 27, because it's man-made.
You know what I'm saying?
Period. Because what that got to do with me?
That's
right.
all.
That's
and I tell myself that all the time. Like, okay, like, if it's working, like, just go with the flow and try to just enjoy the process. And that's something I'm learning. Like, okay, like, time it's irrelevant. Like, I think about the lifespan of when I think about time, I think of the lifespan of a dragonfly, which is only 24 hours.
Really?
But to them, yeah, they live for 24 hours, find a mate. But then when you think about it, that's like a day to us, but that could be 50,
35
years for
50,
them.
60 years, right?
Because
we don't know
the journey. Because it's the journey in the prep. It's like a butterfly. I think about
it's like dog years. Like, okay, 7 years, like, after a year, that's 7 years. Like, so you've lived what's equivalent to 365 days times 7 in 1 year.
Right. So they go from being an infant to a school child to an adult. I mean, to a teenager, and then they're a damn adult. Like, what?
In 3 years.
In 3 years.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I can't even form a sentence at 3.
Right.
Right.
So we have to allow ourselves that same grace. And I think that's the thing. It's just being okay with allowing things to happen. And I've had to stop putting because I'm a big person. I try to put time on things, and I had to fall back from that. The concept of right and wrong, the concept of time, I've just completely diluted them. And it's like, this is how I'm showing up.
Period.
Exactly.
We get to choose.
Oh, my friend Deshaun is in here. He said we do.
Oh yeah. Deshaun is concurring with us about Rich Guy.
Yes.
Monique says, I love that. Time is God's business. And the 4-hour workday is something to pray for. We got to live more in the moment. Oh, I'm committed to that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Once I committed to that, I'm telling you, the whole universe conspired to make that a reality for me. I used to believe I had to hustle. I used to believe I had to, that all of these things, and I was like, you know what, I'm tired. No, I'll be a single housewife, because that's what I'm aspiring to anyway. I will pay bills. I'm going to do these things, but I don't want to be worried about just take care of the house. I'm going to take care of the house my way, and I'm going to live that way. And ever since I put my stake in the ground, everything. I don't work hard, and I live well, and I travel, and I don't miss meals.
Isn't that amazing?
It is nuts, and I do not put in like you would think
at all. Like I feel like
insane,
wife,
and I want to put in less.
Exactly, but less in a way that's like. I really believe the term happy wife, happy life is really a thing. Although men are like, what do you mean? I think that's because they haven't had a woman that takes care of them. Let my man take care of all the bills, and all I have to do is be myself. First of all, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning. You want me to have this ass out while this apron on? But what do you want to do? I done booked us vacations. I done budgeted.
Party. Okay.
Like, okay, you taking out the bill. I'm budgeting. We going on vacations. Like, I'm gonna make sure that because you're taking care of me, you're good.
Yes. Or even if we're both showing up in some type of way financially or whatever that looks like. All of this is a conversation, right?
Right. But if your money's going towards bills, mine is going towards the fun stuff. I done planned your birthday. I done planned our holidays.
We got it all. We booked out.
Exactly. I'm going to make sure we good. Because you making sure that we good.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. That's where that happy life, happy wife came from. It's only, I don't want to say people that are ignorant there, but there's an ignorance to the value because we shine. We are the multiplier. If you're giving me something, I'm going to make it a thing. I am going to turn it into something that you've never even thought of. While you're working, I'm in your ear like, oh, babe, because I have so much experience. I done did more things than anybody would even think that I imagine. You just don't know. And I come in with creativity on this. Now you make it twice as much.
It goes
because I was like, oh, babe, what about that instead?
That belief, that speaking into him, that goes so far. That goes so far.
And I'm interested in what you're trying to build. Like, it's like anytime someone tells me something and they're extremely passionate about it, now I am interested and intrigued by it because you're so passionate about it.
Right.
Like,
but that's a layer of love.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, like he's moved here, building a business, like he just got here. I'm like, okay, like what's it look like? Like, how's it going? Like, can I help in any way? You know, like, oh, damn, it just showed. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, well, I might as well just,
hey,
like you had said.
Like you had
you want to read it? Go ahead and you read it.
Oh, okay. It says, I'm moving from a whole different country, building a new business. Trust me, I didn't think I wanted to meet anyone right now. Just shows her quality and captivating nature.
And I believe that that's what guys are capable of knowing and seeing. You just know, and we don't have to perform or prove or try, or this doesn't have to be all that. The guy either gets it and sees it, or he doesn't. He understands. What's understood don't need to be explained.
Exactly. Because listen, our first date, I showed up from work looking rough, like
and he probably
makeup.
Was like, wow.
Right.
But
he's like, oh my gosh,
that smells amazing.
You know what? But that's how they be liking us.
Like, oh my gosh. He's like, you didn't see me because you were like checking stuff on your phone, but I was looking back at you from across the bar, like, oh, I'm gonna be in some trouble. And I was like, oh my gosh, really?
He was like, praise God.
Right.
It don't have to be much. All the stuff that we be thinking, they don't think the same. So just
no. My homeboy told me that a long time ago. He said the lashes, that hair, that waist thing y'all do. He said all of that is for y'all. And after
seriously,
nigga ain't got lashes since. Hey,
you know what I mean?
You know what? I'm doing this for another one. No, I'm okay. I'll just put on this little mascara when I want to see you.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, you know,
no lip balm.
It doesn't matter. That's it. Because it's not gonna last when they give you kisses. It's not like you didn't took all my lip gloss. I worked hard on this.
I work hard on this. And that's not even what they're looking at. You know, I mean, some are. I don't want to categorize all men, but for the most part, when I'm like in some sneakers and some leggings, that's when I'm pulling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Going to the grocery store looking rough. And they're like, hey girl, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, what you mean? You don't see the size? Right. With this
like,
on my head.
What you mean? Yeah.
What you mean?
Like, I don't got nothing going on right now. But
right. Like, no, I already know Jesus. Like, oh no, that's not what I want to talk to you about, ma'am. Like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I looked in the mirror before I left, so I don't know. That's on you. Okay.
Right.
That's what you like.
And I love it.
But that's amazing. And it also goes to show how much when we cultivate ourselves and who we are and just focus mostly on that, something shines through. It exudes. People see it, they know it, they love it, they gravitate to it. And we could just roll with that. That's what I'm saying. I feel like we were duped in so many ways to believe so many things that are not real.
Literally, like, men just show up, like, and they be having the longest lashes. Don't even need them. Like, okay, so you don't care how I show up.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm like, it's not fair.
Like, I look at his eyelashes all the time. Like, you don't even need those. Like, Okay, I guess.
Right.
But I'm just like, you know what? Like, they're absolutely right. Like, if I'm gonna do something makeup-wise, it's because I want to do it for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't done my makeup in a while. I want to be creative. I want to try something new. But it's not a requirement for them because they truly do not
like
care.
I did this for y'all. Like I'm definitely not.
And you look beautiful.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Like,
Yeah,
I did this in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I did too. I was like,
And I do the lashes because I'm pretty much just going to get up and do lip gloss and maybe a little, and I don't got any more for
That's
you.
it. As long as
I'm not doing all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Mine is tinted sunblock and lip gloss for sure. 1000%.
It's just too much. And then I think
and it
too,
works.
yeah, I don't want to wake up next to you at some point since that's the goal and you don't recognize me.
Like,
right.
This is
you
me.
Be like,
this is
it?
Right, not you gasping. Deep
right.
gas.
That's a little more terrifying than you looking at me and wondering why my lashes are short, which you don't even care about. Like, so I just need to look like myself. Drumming with Jarvis brought up a good point. Y'all attract two different type of men. The men you attract while casual want you. The men who catch you fully dialed up in clubs want your body. And that's true. I learned that with weaves. Because when I had on my long curly weave, I was getting all the
Wait, hold
boys.
on. Wait, not you learned that with weave.
I did, because I changed my hair a lot. And when I got the weave and this long curly weave with the blonde highlights, it's all the trap dudes. Like you driving, it's like straight up drug dealing. So like I don't know what it is. And then when it's straight, it's a different type of dude. And then when it's natural, it's you beautiful black queen and you like so.
This is true. It is true.
This is very true. My friend
Every
on
time
TikTok,
my hair changes, I'm like, okay.
My friend Camille on TikTok is doing like her Hinge series, and it's like blown up. But she's talking about the different men she attracts on Hinge. Oh, thank you. The different men she attracts on Hinge based on her hairstyle. So she was like, if I have the straight weave, like, okay, it attracts a lot more of the white men and the black men. But she's like, when I have my hair out and curly, I attract a lot more white men than I do black men. When I have the locks, she's like, oh, baby, the white men love the locks. And I'm like,
they do.
Not the Grand Rising Queen.
They love, I'll be like, yes.
The Grand Rising.
I'm like, wait a minute. Like, wait. So now I got locks and I'm like on my natural journey and it's the white men coming and I'm like, oh.
Exactly. Like,
so many white men compliment this hair. Like they stopped me for this in the airport. Like, I love your hair. I don't know is it the color? I just don't know.
No, let me just tell you something.
I don't even know.
White men love black
women.
It's
the ombre and the beauty.
That's
they
true.
do. They really do.
I love it. That's nice.
And you know it's wild.
I love it. And you know, you just want to be like, okay, but
I saw the swirl episode and I was like, dang. Like the first time it came out, I was like, oh, couldn't be me. Now look at me, eating my words. Like, oh, okay.
Wait. So Bay made a comment. Is Bay swirl?
Yeah, he's swirl. He's white and he's English. He's like covered in tattoos. Like complete opposite of me. Man bun. Like nose piercing. But he's very handsome, very cute.
We love a good man bun.
I love a good man
I told you I couldn't see the picture. I was trying, but I'm here for it. Enjoy.
Right. I think I was nervous at first because I feel like a lot of black women are so loyal to dating just only black men.
I'm one of those. Sometimes,
yeah, and like on the opposite side, like they could care less. Like they'll date any and everyone. So it's like, why are we boxing ourselves in when, you know, the men that we're like waiting for have already like ventured outside the box and found somebody else? So I'm like,
well, I told the dude I'm talking to, his baby mama is Mexican and my brothers, they're black and they're with other women. And so I talk out of my race, but ultimately, and even the guy I'm talking to, he's black. I knew I wanted to be with a black man, but I do agree with you that they experiment. So it's like, do you?
Right. I was like, okay. I was like, you know, and I saw a TikTok that said, go where your love, sis. Like, let that man love you.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know what? That's what I was like, I'm going to go where I'm loved and celebrated because I was like, I've been holding out and waiting. And not that I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But I was like, if there's someone here in my face willing to, you know, put their all into it, like, why shouldn't I?
Right.
Absolutely. I mean,
and don't be loyal to a fault.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing because like dating in LA, like, okay, I was like, no, like that's what I normally love and attract, and I love black men. But I was like, okay, as of late, it hasn't been what it was back home. Like it's been different dating here than it has been back home because the black, white, Mexican, Latino, like those men in the South want to get married, and it seems like here on the West Coast, like they don't know if that's what they wanted to do. And I was like, okay,
or even if they want black women.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm like, okay, you know, like I see a lot of interracial marriages and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, you know, because my brother's the same thing. Like they're all dating and
My
married
sisters
outside of
too.
their race.
Yeah,
So I was
my
like, okay,
sister's
you
married to a
know,
white guy.
yeah, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm a little scared. I'm a little nervous, but I'm gonna still do it anyways because I'm gonna go where I'm loved and where I'm celebrated. And
Hey, Jamie, you
I
said you're not doing it, right?
It's
exactly.
not for me. It's not for me.
I can appreciate that. And at this point,
I
and
have
I
to be
used
honest.
and then I got funny with it, and I was like, well, I won't procreate with other, but I will date them.
see,
I don't know, because we did an
It's
after
something about a black
conversation
man.
on this. It's just I'm
It's
so black.
it's
I am so
and that's
black.
true.
me
There is
too.
something very much
I'm
about black men.
black.
Something that is
It's,
like
I'm so
very
black.
much about like because that's I'm like, oh, like the men that I normally date, like they typically all dark skinned, tall, handsome, like tall, dark, and handsome. But I was like, you know what? I was like, why not? Like I'm being loved and celebrated here. And I said the exact
honor that.
same thing. Like, oh no, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me until I met a spicy Caucasian who was like, it can and will be you. I'm like,
I
oh,
mean,
okay.
now if that happens, I'm not gonna be ignorant now. Like I'm not going
Right.
to throw away the chance at being loved fully and wholly, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But if we're just talking about where my eye is at and what I'm seeing and how I roll, like I'm just so there's just something about it. It feels like a coming home to me. I've just always been
There's
like
this
that.
gap.
Right.
There's a gap because, like she's saying, like I definitely knew. I was like, okay, I really don't want a white man. But even then, like she was saying, she liked chocolate. She liked them dark skin. Girl, I thought I liked that, and God threw me a whole light skinned brother. I said,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? Because I was
So
like,
that's the
first light
thing.
skinned man,
We don't know.
And so you don't know. So he might throw you a spicy Caucasian.
And I feel like
just
as much shit as I talk about white folks, God was like, "Oh, you just wait, girl.
You just wait.
You just
right.
wait." And I think it's different. I also think it's different, like dating white American men versus dating white men from other countries, because I feel like their racism is set up different. Like I don't think they consider, like they're not looking at the color of the woman's skin. Like it's not heavily built in race like it is here in America. Like, oh, you have black Americans, white Americans. Like, no, you're not black Italian, you're not Mexican, you're Italian. And I feel like they don't think about it as much, so they don't have to think about it as much because it's not a big deal in their country.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, okay,
you know,
because I don't think, like, I was like, listen, okay, if you approach me with an American accent, I've been like, oh no, that's not gonna work. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. No, I don't think it's gonna work.
Hey, but then he spoke in tongues, and you was like, okay.
Oh, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, maybe he's set up a little different. I was like, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna try it and see and find out for myself.
I love that for you. I think that that's really important. Like my sisters, I have two sisters. They both date white guys. My sister's married to a white guy. That's always worked for them. It's, you know, it's what's going on. And I'm not mad at it. Like, who knows? Like you said, it could be somebody from another country who approaches and whatever, and it's cool. And he'll just accept how I roll and it'll be what it is. I'm open to it, but not like that open.
Right. Let me tell you something.
I'm not like looking for
it. If you ever go to Italy, the Italian men love us. You'd be like,
they do.
I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to see, because they'd be like, oh my gosh. Like my sister went to Italy and she was like, the amount of Italian men, like black, white,
they love us.
Like they love us over there.
They love us
men in other countries love us everywhere. And they're like, oh my God. So you just wait.
We're an anomaly.
You gonna fuck around and find out.
I'm ready.
Or you
that's my sister.
Hey, look, she's gonna get a light skin. That's what's gonna happen.
That's my sister. Exactly.
She's gonna get a bright light.
That's
my sister. Yeah, the one that was telling me who was gonna block me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she said she's listening to us like a podcast. I love it.
It's
I know
good.
We have been on for an hour and a half. I don't know. Y'all got time for another question?
Oh, I do. Because the only
Okay.
thing I'm gonna do after this is pour myself more wine.
That's gonna be me as well.
I just poured me some. I put it right here just in case.
Right.
That's smart.
And I asked before we started this, I said, what kind of Saturday are we trying to have?
I was happy when you said that, because I had my water because I was gonna hydrate. And then
right. Exactly.
I got your message and I was like, I'll hydrate with both.
Yeah. We're gonna be hydrated regardless.
I ain't had a Saturday brunch in a long time. I said, oh ladies, we got time. It's 4 p.m. over here.
It's 4 p.m.
Yes. And I love that. I love that y'all love brunch. I don't know if y'all know, but I had a brunch party that started in December 2014 all the way until March 2020 when COVID hit, every month at different restaurants all around LA. Like, I am the brunch queen.
I love that.
Yes, I let me tell you something. I'm going to get bottomless off the mimosas. I'm at least 8 deep in.
I love it. It's so much fun to be drunk in the daytime.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and I go home.
Not in the daytime.
Yes,
Right.
I love it. We're drinking it. It's 11, and I got please. I am in heaven.
Good. It's
I'm ready to act a
giving
fool somewhere.
podcast.
Oh, y'all, my friend just popped up. He said I need better lighting. I'm sorry.
Is
I
that
love
your
all that
friend?
I'm hearing.
I love
No, that's
that.
my friend Rajon.
Now that he
Okay,
hopped on, I done said friend. We
Oh,
gonna leave.
let me go ahead and look because I got my contacts in, so I want to see who we talking about.
Oh, not the. Oh, she did the look. I'm gonna look.
I said, let me go ahead and look. Okay,
Right.
we see him there.
Right. I love it. We're having too much fun.
Don't make me blush, girl. Don't make me blush.
Right. Look
at the booze supporting. I'm here for this.
We love that. You know what I'm saying? Like while I was opening the wine, he was like, "Oh, like you talking about your karaoke you do tonight?" I was like, "No." As I'm struggling, I'm supposed to be on right now, and I sent him the link. He's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna tune in." I was like, "Appreciate you.
You're gonna support me." Rich Guy says you should definitely do a weekly podcast. The queens are glowing and flowing. We are.
Yes. We love to see it. We love to see it. My sisters and I are supposed to start a podcast, and I was like, we definitely need to do that this year. Like, why not? What's stopping us?
Yeah, and I'm on here often. So I do review the show with two other ladies every week. So I review all of your shows, and I'll have some other girls on, and I'm constantly on here sharing all the good stuff. So I'm always happy to get on and have sister chats. I've been doing this for years. There's such good stuff here on my channel and our conversation. Like I'm always down.
It.
So anytime y'all want to do this again, please let me know because I'm down.
Yes, I will. Oh wait, is that you in his picture?
Damian Myers. Yes. Hey there, ladies. Hi.
Hello, that's him and his daughter Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn. I love that name.
We love to see it. Come on in here, Bay, and support.
They came through, didn't they?
They did. They came through, and that's when you know, like, oh, that's how you go from Bay to my man.
Right.
That flip.
Right.
Well, we're not gonna tell him that.
It did flip. We're not gonna tell him that.
We're not gonna tell him that.
Yeah, he can. He can watch the replay. If he watches the replay,
he wants to go back and watch.
Yeah, exactly.
He caught the friend part. So right now you're
right.
Until he tells you he saw what you said.
Right.
Yes, y'all are definitely vibing. Thanks, SJ. SJ comes through, so
she
knows I got people up on here. I love it. No, this is so much fun. And I have to tell you guys, I always get nervous. People think because I've been doing this forever, like I don't get nervous. I always get nervous first. And I'm like, well, what if I miss something or this? But I was like, no, these girls are cool. We're going to have our wine, our chill. And we're just going to do this. Like, what am I worried about? So I love this. I love the energy, the vibe, the feedback, all of it.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you.
This is great. This is brilliant. I was nervous.
She got this other question.
Right, I'm nervous. Okay, here we go.
Well, this one I thought was really important, and it's one you almost got to be a little bit sensitive about. But I put, if anything, what do you feel about religion was misleading when it comes to romantic relationships? Because I know I personally struggled a lot with that. But I'm asking y'all.
Dr. Dawn, you want to go first?
Look, I'm not going after you. I know we both.
Man, when I was watching, I told one of my other girls, I was like, oh, no. We got to address this because along with the other folklores that we're constantly told and taught about things, I just feel like religion really messed me up. Like, it almost was counterproductive to what it was supposed to do for me.
Oh, I am a PK grandchild. Did I say that right? So my granddad is a pastor.
Okay.
And but he's never given me that much. Like he's the more open one. When I was that pregnant 20-year-old girl, he was very supportive. It was the other people around me like, yo, you need to get married. You need to blah, 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 blah. Like you don't want to have this baby out of wedlock, like all these things. And so religion pushed me into this marriage that I wasn't ready for. And I wasn't even equipped to deal with that. So for me, I would just tell people like you can love God, you can have your relationship with God, but stop pushing your version of religion on people because it makes us have these relationships that we're ill prepared for. And so like I love God. God is a great part of my life. I prayed for the guy that's on here. Like I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in all of those things. But don't push people into stuff by using your God or using whatever or religion or whatever it may be. Like just show up and support And so I personally, for me, I would just say, I'm gonna just say tread lightly.
I know it can be touchy because people
Like,
don't play about Jesus.
They don't. I'm one of
They
those people.
don't.
I feel like I grew up in the church, like, you know, like was there all pretty much all weekend. Sometimes Wednesday, Sunday, sometimes Saturday.
Right, I remember that.
And I feel like for me, like I felt like in order to have sex, I need to be married. Otherwise, God was just gonna be so disappointed in me, and it was such a whole thing. So that was a big part of the reason I got married, and it was because one, I loved my husband, but also I wanted to show that love. Like I wanted to have sex with him, like, you know. So I was like, okay, like this is my person. I want to get married. Ignoring those red flags, I was like, oh, sorry, I don't see those. And like we chose to get married, and then like looking back on it, like it was like I feel like because I grew up in the church, like my vision was askewed. Like I'll never forget during the time when my husband and I were going through our divorce, and it set me back so far, was that the same church that we were going to, which didn't really handle our marriage well as far as counseling went and completely mishandled it, they revoked my membership from the church. They said, because you refuse to reconcile with your husband, we're going to revoke your membership from our church.
Right.
And I've never felt in so low, because I was already dealing with the fact that I felt like the only way out of my marriage, because I know how God feels about, you know, infidelity. Like I was like, okay, like I feel like this is a way out, because just saying I want a divorce didn't seem like reason enough. Like it didn't seem like a valid enough reason for me telling my parents who paid for the wedding and our friends who stood up there that, you know, I don't think this person is good for me. Like it didn't feel like enough of a reason for me to leave. And so when they said that, you know, it completely set me back a long ways. Like I just wouldn't step foot in the church. I still knew that obviously Christ died on the cross for my sins, but I felt like God was so disappointed in me until I went to this one church in Plano, Texas called The One, and they had a divorce ministry, which is something I'd never heard about. So if you're going through divorce or you're separated from your spouse, whether you choose to go with a divorce or you choose to reconcile, like they help you through the entire process to know that, you know, you're still loved, like you're not any less than anybody else. And I feel like religion did play a big part, but also like it also kind of like misled me in the way that I was being handled. But luckily God is more than enough, and I found my way back. But it was just completely mind-boggling to me how they mishandled me and my marriage.
Jolesa, can I ask her a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask her a question?
Yeah.
And come on in here, Dr. Dawn, I'm ready.
Hey, no. So when I was watching it, right, there was a part where you went, we got married so we could have sex, and it was okay.
Wait. I caught that. I was like, dang, I'm sorry, sis.
That's disappointing. You got married.
Ain't nothing you can do about it now.
So I felt like, was that pause? Was that?
I said I felt like it was okay compared to what I've been experiencing currently. It definitely was like okay, but I think that was because I felt like for so long, because we've been messing around, like doing everything besides like having like, you know, vaginal sex. But after we had it, I was always used to it feel like, oh, this is wrong, this is bad, this is terrible. To still feeling that way, like, oh, this is terrible, I shouldn't be doing it. Like, really, I'm doing some things psychologically. And I felt like I said it was okay because a lot of things I wanted to explore and everything like that, like, it didn't seem like he wanted to do. Like, I was like, okay.
You guys were very vanilla.
Very vanilla. And
but how could you not be?
Like, right. Like, I was thinking like, oh, okay, like, you know, I'm getting married. Like, there's no restrictions anymore. Like, if I wanted to be
the marital bed is undefileable. You was ready.
Like, you was like BDSM. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to try BDSM things, like, pull up. And it did not seem like that was something you want to do. Like, outside of like, oh, okay, we can have like car sex. I'm like, and what else? So that's why I was like, okay, it was okay because I felt like
I felt it.
I felt it too.
I
when
felt
you
like
said it, I was like, oh my God.
I feel like the sexual expectations were different because the sex wasn't bad. I just think that we wanted different things sexually.
When you're committing to somebody forever, not bad ain't really gonna like. There has to be some exploration. This is supposed to be the moment.
I'm a trisexual. We got to try everything. We're gonna at least try it to say we did it.
Right. Like I'm like, okay. Like I want. Like it it just seemed kind of rudimentary. Like, okay, like outside of like, he did do like kind, sexy things. But when I think what really messed
Not
with my
fine.
psyche,
I'm done. Wait, stop.
like what really messed with my psyche was the fact that I wanted to like, what was it I was gonna say? Dang it. Like he would do like things like, okay, like holidays, wedding, like, oh, set up like the cute stuff and everything like that. But I wanted to try all the things. Like, okay, if I want to role play, if I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't think we ever got there because we were still so stuck on the fact that we were trying to explore sex and get out of the habits of thinking that it was wrong because
Well,
we've been
I hope
doing so many things
now.
before.
I hope now
How
it's not okay, kind. You said cute.
Oh no,
I
girl,
think
we over here.
okay,
We
kind,
we
cute.
busting
What
down
was the other one?
rounds. Oh, like rudimentary. No, we do not
Right.
have that over here. Like,
I think you
yeah,
said
like I was like, okay,
Manila. Like
yes,
I
like
hope now. Like we had Manila, vanilla. We had okay, kind.
exactly. Like now, like yeah, if we wait, like okay, like, and that's how it went. Like I was like, okay, with this new person I'm seeing, I want to take it slow. And then like it heated up real fast, and he's like, "Whatever you want, we got it. Whatever you want to try, we got
cool.
it." Like,
Thank you.
okay.
I like that.
Yes.
A trisexual. I was thinking, I thought TRI, and I was like, I've never heard that before. After this, I'm gonna have to
Girl,
Google
I
it.
made it up. I make up
But then,
words.
when Deshaun said it,
I
when
made it
Deshaun
up.
said,
Like, so what
But
does that
let's try it.
entail exactly?
right, when he spelled it out,
Bisexual
it's
means
TRY.
I'm here for it.
I'ma
here
try
for
it.
Oh, that's how that
Trisexual.
look.
Exactly.
Let's try it. We're gonna try it. Try it. You may like it. And if we don't like it,
Exactly.
then we're gonna go and put that aside. But we're gonna definitely try it.
Exactly. When he spelled it out that way, I was like, okay, I understand that. Like, yes, we're gonna try it. Like, what's the
I
harm in
appreciate
it?
you. Who was that? Deshaun?
That's
Thank
my
you
friend
for
Deshaun.
listening.
Deshaun.
Thank you
My
for
Cali
listening. And I don't
bestie.
even know how to spell it because I made that up. But I'm
And
gonna
he
spell
did
it
it
like
very
that.
well. Exactly.
I'm gonna coin
very
that.
well.
I'm gonna coin that. Don't you coin it, Deshaun.
He's working on the patent right now.
I
I love
love
him.
it.
That's my friend. Hi, Deshaun. Hi,
Look at it. I love it. Everybody that came through. I mean,
me too.
yeah, when it comes to the sex thing, yeah, if we're married, it's supposed to be yeah, they talk. It's supposed to be no holds barred. You gotta explore. You got. If we're talking about we're committing forever, we only do this thing once. Like we just gotta be on the same page. That should be part of the conversation. And you brought up a good point. If you were kind of like raised scared or feeling so much guilt and shame behind sex, then it's gonna be hard to swing from the chandelier. Like you're gonna be like,
Right.
You feel me?
this is
like,
not
okay.
what God has intended. And it's just
Right.
like, but he did give us these bodies and all,
and trying new things. I was like, okay, I will give him credit. He did try some things, but there were some things because I was just undoing something psychologically that we just didn't get to.
Yeah.
And I feel like he kind of, I wouldn't say ruined that after our honeymoon, but like,
it was not the honeymoon. Sis,
so early.
That's
so
the honeymoon.
Early. I'm not even gonna say.
We done got Manila, vanilla, okay, and then after the honeymoon,
like right. So I was like, okay, there were certain things that he said, and I was just like, well, I'm not gonna be able to compete with that. That's something you would have to work out in therapy that I can't help you with. Like, okay.
Right.
Like I don't send nudes to this day because I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna be received by my partner. Versus like that should be the complete opposite. Like it should be like, oh, okay, like my
massage
partner.
that conversation with that person. Ask them how do you feel about me sending you nudes. It's
right.
Remember we talked about conversation.
Put it on the table.
Exactly, like communication.
Put it on the table because if he likes them, send them.
Right.
Or if he's like, I'll take them. If he's like, I'll take them in person, even better. So everything's worth the conversation. Put it on the table.
This is true. You're not wrong. I love communication,
and he in here, so.
So it's like all of it. Jarvis says, y'all are fire. We appreciate you all. Thank you, Jarvis. You're appreciated too.
I know.
What did you guys think of Katrina's story? I was like, I felt so bad for her. Did you see Katrina? I was like, this girl rode till the wheels fell off. And this man was real cool and comfortable with sitting on her back.
For the ride.
That was a heavy one because I have kids.
I felt so bad.
And knowing her kids were involved, I think that was the biggest thing for her. Like even when she said she let her kids choose and go with him, I felt all the pieces of that. But then I was like, hold on. they going with him, but it don't work.
What's he gonna put on the table? Air?
Hope
Because we know he don't work.
So what they eating ice cream?
Right. So now you have to step up and be the father, like a single father, and like, okay, you have to give these things. Now, given I haven't seen my own episode yet because I'm waiting for it to unlock on YouTube.
Me too, girl. Well, I've seen mine.
But I've seen the snippet.
But I
gotta put you on to the websites.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna.
I should have texted you that in the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some other websites that provide all easy access.
Because my boo hasn't watched it. He hasn't watched it.
I got you.
Yeah. We're gonna email that.
Yeah, I got you on that because that's easy. We could do that. I saw the whole thing.
YouTube is playing, girl.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. I'm like, and I seen the comments on our snippets. Like, people are like, we want this story. Like, we want to know why is it that women, like, why is the real reason that women cheat? Like, they've been like requesting it because I've been looking at the comments, and some I respond to. I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm open to your feedback and your opinion, but I was like, that's okay because you didn't have to walk the walk that I did, and that's all right. You know, like, that's your feedback, that's your opinion. I remember I saw in the comments that somebody was like, yeah, he was crushed by that, and they said I was smiling. I was like, bro wasn't smiling. I was recollecting like the moment that it happened. Like, damn, like, yeah, he was crushed. And at the time, I didn't feel bad because you had been neglecting me for so long. The things that I asked for, that I wanted you to feel how I felt. And
someone called me a hoe in the comments. Someone called. They were like, "Oh, sis knew she was gonna leave." Like, and then I can't even think of her name. Oh my God, came through swinging. A sister came through swinging, and she was like, first of all, she did. Oh no, he was like, she knew that she was gonna cheat. Something. Like, he went. I
remember that guy. He's been on all the videos commenting. But the sisters had
and so I came through. I said, "Thank you, my brother. Thank you for responding, and thank you for your support." And then she came and she was like, you know what? She was like, Dawn, she said, you told your story and you did say that you didn't feel like what you did was right, but you also honored that you didn't feel worthy, you didn't feel appreciated, you didn't feel this. And so she'd seen it from a different set of eyes.
Yep.
So ignore the comment.
I was like, I'm ignoring the comment. I was like, okay, these are people's opinion. And that's what you open yourself up to when you go on a big network like OWN. And I was like, I knew this is what this was going to come with, so I'm okay with it. Like, their understanding of what happened. But it was also like, there was a lot of people in the comments like backing us, like, okay, did you watch the whole clip? Like,
I don't think they did.
No,
correct.
You watched that 3-minute clip.
Yeah, you need to see the whole thing. You need to understand the big picture here,
right?
Because it was that is why women cheat. I've never cheated on anybody that I've been with, but now that I'm very clear about what I want and whatever, I could be dating a guy, can see that he's not going to be able to give it to me. And that's where my mind goes. Could I do this long term? And the answer is no, because I need this. And if I don't get it, I am going to go out and fulfill that because I need it.
Right.
So
and that's why what Jolesa said is true, because at the end I said I would never cheat again. Like, I know how to communicate now. 19 to 29-year-old me, I didn't know how to communicate. Like, what is happening? And me saying I wanted therapy was the best of my communication. And so, because that happened well before me even cheating. So now it's like, okay, bruh, let's have a conversation. I don't want you no more. Like, you know, like,
that's the reality of it. I didn't know how to say that before.
So I know how to communicate. Like, I'm not okay. I am okay with saying what I don't want. So, or what I don't desire, or how I can't show up. And so I think that people are losing sight of that too, because they're responding to things that happened almost 10 years ago.
And that's the thing, because I feel like I didn't learn my lesson in that one. I think, like I said, hurt people, because I've been the hurt person that hurts somebody else. Like, if you don't heal your wounds, you're going to bleed on somebody else. I met a great guy after my husband, and because I wasn't fully healed, I was like, oh, he's not going to stay anyways. So I cheated, like, physically, like, oh, not like sexual, but like was making out with someone for sure. And I was like, and I was pretty much self-sabotaging. And like, when I told him, you know, like, I had a panic attack, which I feel so bad about, because it took away from really understanding his feelings, because he's like, okay, I want to work through this, which no one had ever wanted to work through anything with me. Like, it was normally like, okay, like, thank you so much, goodbye. And the fact that this man still saw value in me and wanted to work with me afterwards,
I like my mental couldn't handle it. I just started hyperventilating, which I'm so mad about because it really took away from that moment and being his feelings. And so looking back, I'm like, I'm grateful that he was able to, because he really he was dealing with a very damaged woman, like the woman I am today. Like he very much helped me to become who she is, and I'm so grateful for him to that, because we're still great friends now. Like we didn't work out romantically, but he's still one of my closest friends, And so I think it's sometimes that when you don't know how to communicate, or when, like I said, I should have been like, oh, I need therapy. Like this is where I should have been working it out at. I think you notice and you learn from those things later on. Like me today would have been like, oh no, like I'm not, like me today is not cheating. Like, hey, if it's not working, I don't have any regrets about what I've learned in this relationship and taking it on to the next one.
Yeah, and you can communicate, yourself more. We all learn so much about ourselves in these 19-year-old relationships to now that it's just, like we said earlier, it's not going to happen like that again, where it's just this clueless, lost, feeling our way through the dark. I think I'm supposed to be here, but it doesn't feel good, but I'm supposed to stay, and I don't know what, we're done. Like
we got a different set of tools.
Exactly.
We do.
We're
have
a different set of tools.
People.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
I love that for us. I love that for us. Yes, I'm out here. Yeah, I got secret TV show gems. That's right. Got to. Rich Guy says everyone always has an opinion or something to say, especially on the internet, unless it's about themselves. My take is, if your own garden ain't spotless, stop throwing dirt over my fence. Yeah, that's
and nobody's garden is
spotless.
Hey, I like that one. That must be
right.
British shit.
Right. Well, Damien in here too. He said the church's idea of marriage has done more damage in our communities, in my opinion, and I agree.
That's very true, because you can be in a whole domestic relationship, and sometimes they'll say okay, this person worked through it, but they will. I think some churches will advise you need to separate. No, but there are other churches no, the Bible says to love one another like you love yourself. The biggest commandments are honor thy mother and father and love one another like you love yourself. So you're not about to beat the shit out of yourself. You shouldn't be beating the shit out of nobody else, because that's not love.
But are you not going to beat the shit out of yourself? Because there's some people that do that.
There's some people that do that. And then they go to that whole evolved person that we're talking about. Because at this point in my life, I'm not beating me for nobody. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
That is true. So that relationship can be saved, but I think there's definitely some separation and some things that they need to work out before they come back.
I think it's all of it, right? Because we can't tell people, one, shame and guilt is the lowest thing we could ever feel. I'd rather be angry than guilty and shameful. And it's just very low energy. And then on top of that, just to tell someone that this is the way you have to be because this is how it's written, that's going to come with a lot more of an explanation. And even when we're going to tell people, love somebody else like you love yourself, are you teaching people what it means to love themselves? So I just think there's so many more layers. And then, people put their stuff into it. And then you get what you went through, Jolesa, I want to get a divorce, so you kick me out. That is so, my heart feels for that version of you.
You feel me? My heart goes out to her. And I remember I was at a photo shoot, and my photographer at the time captured the moment, because I was sobbing. He was like, I want to capture these for you, because I know one day you look back and be like, damn, I really overcame that. And I remember I said to him, I said, you do realize that Jesus left the 99 for the one, and one day you're gonna have to answer for the fact of how you handled your flock. And he's like, no, sister, I think you need to. I was like, okay, and that's fine. And on Judgment Day, we're gonna see, because
on Judgment Day we're gonna see.
Yeah, and that's none of my business how that unfolds for you. I need to focus right here, because I gotta get that part off the floor now.
Right. I'm sure going to be concerned about what's coming up on my projector screen when my time comes. But just know that the way that you mishandled me is definitely going to show up on yours.
Yes. And it probably already has. And that's the thing. I mean, even my ex, parts that I left out was he threw all my shit out the house in the rain. And we got these kids. Boy, your brother cheating. Your daddy cheated on your mama. I say brother, your brothers. There's 5 of them. All of them. So I know all the mess. And you're sitting up here trying to really just be upset with this 29-year-old.
And be for real.
It's very misplaced.
Right.
And since you're so grown, and that is something I wanted to bring up with your thing when we were talking about.
I wanted to ask, how old was he, Don, and how old are you?
I was 19, and when we met, he was 43.
Shut your lips.
Girl,
That
yeah,
man
he
was
older
looking
than my
for
mama.
someone he could easily manipulate. He felt like he could mold you and manipulate you into who he wanted you to be.
And that's the thing. And that's
Period.
the thing. Like, he took accountability for my career, all of this. I was like, bro, you did not go to these classes. You did not get this scholarship. You did not. And so I think that, yeah, I'm just gonna say this. We co-parent well. But
Okay, that's good.
Good.
That's good.
But
At
the
least
same
that's
time,
good.
when people are watching it, I hope they do see that grooming aspect, because it is there. And I talk to my
Sorry.
it's
Like,
it's
why
a whole
don't the
thing.
women your own age want you? Why are you dating in the children's pool? Like, teen is still attached to your age.
You
Like,
got
why
a
are
whole
you
teen in
playing
your
in the
name.
kiddie pool? Why are you in
Right.
the kiddie pool?
Why are you in the kiddie pool? And then mad at the result. And like I said, I take accountability for my part. But at the same time, after I went to therapy myself, I had to acknowledge that Dawn,
He was
he was
grooming
preying
you.
on a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not
it
even
was
20,
giving- it was giving
19? Be for
it was
real.
giving R. Kelly. But
Very
I'm
much
just
so.
saying.
Yeah. It's insane, and there's something, you know, unbalanced and broken within him, because, you know, back to that energy that can show up in a room and put women like us at like, oh, okay, yeah, like that energy, like his was broken somewhere, because he had to scream and
broken.
shout and control and
Yes.
manipulate and abuse to try to get the same result. So I don't know what that is in him, but it's very misaligned and
Agreed.
abusive.
Agreed.
Very
It
much
is.
so.
It is.
That's exactly. I mean,
It's true.
That was funny. I was here for the kiddie pool.
Yeah.
You still have teens. I was here for the kiddie pool.
Right.
He's
Like,
definitely.
why you after the babies with their floaties on?
I got
Like,
my floaties on.
be for real.
The whole floaty.
I'm
Like,
bumping
got
through
the
life, and
arms
here you
and
come,
the what?
like a fucking shark and a predator. No, leave these babies alone.
Leave him alone. My homeboy told me the other day, his name is Wes. He was like, you know what? People talk about men, but they like women in their 20s. And then they get mad when they're in their 30s and want to talk to a woman in their 20s. And when they're in their 50 and they want to talk to a woman in their 20s. And I told him, bruh, keep that to yourself. Because at the end of the day, I
would have read him for filth. Like, okay, so why do you want to get her? Because women
He was
older
like,
can call
"That's
you
what
on
we're-"
your shit and hold you accountable.
he said the only reason that men date older women is so because of maturity. But if they had a choice and they were choosing for aesthetics, they would choose a 20-year-old.
Which is wild, because black don't crack. I mean, it do expand, but it don't crack. So, like, what's happening?
And so I just politely let him have his conversation, and I was like, okay.
All right, you talking to
Duly
yourself at
noted.
this point, because
Look, I don't even know
I'm
what
holding
to
you
say about
accountable.
that.
It's disgusting.
So
What do you even say? Like, y'all do that then. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You
cool,
have
that
it.
works for you,
Have
then-
it.
be a friend. You couldn't be a friend of mine after that, because why are you thinking it's okay to talk to women in their 20s and you're 50?
right, gone. Experience those 20-year-old problems.
No,
That's what we see
exactly.
in the NBA and stuff. Go get it.
And that's
Go get that
fine.
money.
All up to you.
Yeah, right.
Okay, they are actual adults, so it's fine if that's what they think, but it's not right. I think you
But
guys
I'm not
need
gonna,
to
you know,
different
I
life
think that a lot of
experiences.
younger guys. Actually, I've only dated a guy older than me once. The guy that I'm working with now, he's the oldest. I've never dated anybody older than me, because everybody either thinks I'm younger.
Wait, so how old is he, Jamie? How old
Yeah.
He's 46.
How?
Oh.
I'm not gonna ask you that. I'm not gonna ask you that.
Okay,
What?
so that's but that's
Well,
older
because you
than
just said you were in your because you said, I was like, how old is he? But you just told us.
But you normally
earlier
go.
in the chat.
You're saying you don't go. So I think for women,
I've
10
never
years,
dated a guy older than me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think okay. So I think for women, 10 years is older, and for men, I think if they're dating a woman, it's a 5-year gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause yeah, like I still get the 28-year-olds. That's
Oh, girl, I got
You
one,
look
and I was
amazing
like,
and you should, because you look it. You look it.
there was
like,
a 28-year-old who tried to talk to me. I said, boy, it's giving auntie. Like, I couldn't do it.
Right.
I couldn't do
like,
it.
Aw.
I couldn't do it.
Because now I feel bad. Like, no.
Yeah, like, no, how does your mother? That's what I felt.
right.
You know.
Right.
And he would say stuff, and I was like, oh. And I'm like, I'm disrespectful.
I've had someone like, I think the youngest someone has approached me was 19. He's like, oh, I thought you were like 24. Like, I'm not. Go ahead and add 7.
Move around.
Right.
Sir, no, I can't teach you how to be a man because that's, You ready to have some kids?
I'm not here.
You ready to look at a mortgage? Okay, then.
I don't subscribe.
Family.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot that comes with all that. So it's fun.
Praise
it's
God.
cute. We could go eat.
Right.
Have a little
That's
drink,
it.
but then I gotta go home. Like,
but I don't even want to eat with you because then I'm gonna be looking like, oh, you need a biz.
Right. You want chicken nuggets? You want chicken
nuggets?
You want the 6-piece with the fries? Baby, don't get fries, get fruit.
Right. My baby's gonna have under the kids 12 and under. He's gonna have
see, then me, I'm
cheeseburger.
terrible because I'm like, well, as long as I can have the toy in the box, then we good. Like, give me the crayons. I want the crayons. You all got crayons?
That's positive. That's looking at a positive. I'm not mad at it.
No comment. She said we're gonna color. We're gonna do art.
I need to grow up. I'm having too much fun.
Right.
SJ said older men. Yeah, older men. I don't know. It's always the young ones.
They date for aesthetic. Right. They date for aesthetic while women are dating for providers. Like a 21-year-old woman, she wants a man who can provide.
Yeah.
And older men want women that look younger. They can date them. They feel like, oh, they're more impregnable. Like, okay, whatever. But the younger women are definitely looking at you as providers. Like, okay, if I'm dating you, I'm expecting you to provide and pay all my college bills.
Facts.
Right.
Like you're taking care of me.
And exactly. And I want to bridge that gap. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I can provide for myself. What else you got?
Right. At that point,
so
I'm like,
important.
Meet me here. Like, okay, we're meeting right there. And I want how else? And I think people misunderstand what provider means because they think financial. But no, I need you to be a provider emotionally, physically, and psychologically. And I feel like now the person I'm seeing, like, he does those things. And it's nice having a provider all encompassed in one. Like, he's like, oh, you didn't eat today? Like, okay, well, let's grab a bite to eat. Let's grab some drinks or whatever. Like, even if we're just at the house, like, I still get to do all of that with you because you're providing in so many ways. Like, I cannot tell you how uncomfortable it made me feel at first when we'd be outside or we'd just be in the house and he's, like, kissing me for 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, my God, I've never had this. I feel like I'm suffocating. But then realizing that because I hadn't had it, like, he's providing all these other ways that I hadn't been catered to in the past. So I didn't know how to receive it. Now I'm just like, okay, you know what? Like, we gonna just bask in it. As Ray John has been telling me last time we had wine night, she's the one who was telling me, you just need to bask in it, sis. Like, this is someone who's giving you the things that you've been looking for. So just
and even
like
even
take it slow and let them know
you're
trying. Exactly. Yep. And to just bask in
it. Even my guy, like I've told him on several occasions, like, nigga, I'm a thug. Like, I'm a whole gangster.
I have my moments.
But he makes me so soft, and I'll be like,
we love that.
And I'm like,
first they sour, then they're sweet. Come on, sour patch.
Yes.
So like he tames
I'm a gummy bear. I am not a thug.
Like, I'm a whole gangster. But
that's the Jolly Rancher right there.
but he does me in such a way where it's like it tames me to be the woman that I'm able to be, and so I'm here for it. So like you said, the kissing, like I'll be like, no, I don't kiss, baby, chat, right? And then I just be kissing him. I'll be all in his face. I know I get on his nerves, but anyway.
And now and that's what I'm doing. Like, okay, like,
but he allows me to open up that vulnerability,
right? And that's what I'm working on now. I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna try.
So receive it,
right? Because the marriages I see on TikTok of people with their grandparents, like, he's still rubbing up on her and she's like, ooh, like they well in their 70s cooking in the kitchen. I was like, damn, I've never seen that, but I've always wanted it. So now I have it here and I'm like, okay, let me open up and be vulnerable to that. And it's been a lot better this week because I was with him last week.
I mean, you're right. Because you're only working with 4 weeks. Like,
right.
Yeah,
right.
I'm like,
right.
Progression.
Exactly. I was like, I'm getting better.
It's the onion. You're pulling back the layers.
And
so each week it'll get better.
Yes.
Exactly. Because last week I was on a cruise and I was like, dang, like I could be doing this with my boo. I could be doing that with my boo. We could explore this. Like I was like, oh, I miss him and being on the boat and not being able to talk to him. And so I was like, you know what? Like when I get back, I was like, oh, I miss this. And I was like, I'm just going to learn to like take it all in. And he really spoke to me yesterday. He's like, when it's our time, like it doesn't matter who's looking in on it. Like it should just be more about it's ours.
It's a
And so I
bubble.
was like, oh, you know what? Because I was like, I'm not really a PDA person, but I think that's because I hadn't had it.
That
He was
part.
like, oh,
Right.
We have to
but
be
what he didn't
careful
know-
with labeling
and
ourselves.
that's what I was about to say. Because
Yeah.
I told my ex, I said I don't like flowers. That nigga never bought me a flower. And so the guy I'm dating now, he brought me flowers, and he was like, "Oh, I got these for you." And like I was like taken aback, like, and I didn't realize, bitch, you love flowers. Like you got a whole, I love plants. Like that's my thing. But
Let's be real.
said that. Let's be real. And just for him to just show up and have some flowers was like, wow. You know, and so be careful with how you label yourself. But yes, you do. You like PDA, like you said.
Because,
Exactly.
yeah, it becomes,
just
it's our
hadn't never had
protection.
it.
Exactly.
You never had it.
You're
Okay.
protecting yourself from it, because it's like, if I say it's not me and I never get it, like I never had it, then it's not hurting me to not receive it.
Exactly.
Right,
I'm learning that. I'm
exactly.
like, okay, you know what? Let me try this. Because
Right.
when he was like, he brought up the fact like, oh, when you drink, right? I said, oh, listen, I've lowered all my inhibitions. I am wide open after mimosas or tequila. Hey,
Listen.
Jalissa be killing me. Jalissa be putting her hair behind her ear that she don't have. She be swinging it.
You feel me? Like,
I mean,
hey, she be getting it. I'm here for it. We
I'm
got
like,
to
you know
meet.
what?
You in LA.
He's
We
right.
got to exchange
Yes.
information.
We-
This
yeah.
looks like we're
Yes,
gonna all
ma'am,
have
we
to
are.
have. We got to have a play date.
Brunch.
we need brunch.
Yes,
We need
yes.
that brunch.
We need brunch.
Yes, I'm
We need
so
mimosas.
sad that Jamie's in Houston. Like, I'm like, wait.
Oh, but
none
I
of
mean,
y'all are in LA?
I'll be in LA the end of February. I come all the time.
Oh, fabulous. Come
I'll
see
be
me,
here
girl.
too,
Come see
sis.
me.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
I'll be
I
out
have
there.
to go to
Let's do it.
Atlanta and Houston. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to
No,
make sure
I'm
we hit
here
all the
though.
major
I'm in
cities.
LA, sis. I'm in
Oh, I thought
LA.
you said Atlanta. Oh,
I lived in Atlanta. I've been here 2 years.
oh yeah, no, I'm going to see you next month. I'm going to see after I
Hey,
get my life
girl.
together. My life is
Yes.
in shambles at the moment, but we're going to get it
You
together.
guys need a double date.
I
Wait,
know.
Yes, that would be cute.
That would be
With
real
the
cute.
mimosas for brunch?
With the
Listen.
mimosa.
Will you meet
That
when
would
I'm
be really
brunch?
cute.
I'll be like, oh my gosh. I'll be like, Don, you're so pretty. You're so pretty.
You're so pretty, girl.
The guys will be talking while you guys are fading over each other. Like,
Right.
look at them.
Okay, you
Look
know.
at these girls.
Look at him.
Then we're going to FaceTime you.
Yes.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hiccup,
Please.
Jamie, we miss you. Hiccup.
Right. And I'll be over here like, I miss y'all too. Cheers.
See? Deshaun knows. Deshaun's been with me when I've been drinking tequila and mimosas. He's right.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Tequila and mimosas.
Yep.
Tequila, no, mimosa.
Are both.
Listen, I'm with the shits after that. I'm with it. What you want to do? What you want to do?
What do we do?
That's me too. That's me too. So yes, we got to get together.
I can't
Yes,
wait.
I'm excited.
That is so exciting. Yes. We got these comments. What did Jarvis say? Yes, men need to be able to provide financially, even though you say it's not as important. Women wouldn't date a fry cook at McDonald's. You're right.
Can I respond to that?
Stable woman. What?
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Yes, you go first.
So I'm going to say I disagree. And the only reason I'm going to say I disagree is because at this part of my life, I pay these bills by myself. I take care of these kids by myself. My little sister is 20. She done came and moved with me. Nigga, if you give me a man that loves me, my friend told me the other day, a woman that has her shit together needs a good man. Mm-hmm. She don't need a financially stable man. She needs a good man. And however that is for you. So I don't need nobody to come with dollars. I got that part. Nigga,
Right.
Love me. Love on me. Treat me good, do my body right, rub on my hips, give me the D, whatever it is, do all of those things, and I got you. So I'm at a place where I don't need him to show. I don't fuck with McDonald's stuff. You didn't.
Right. I was like, yeah, no. But see, I need both.
I think, yeah.
I used to not
I
need
like
it.
It depends on, but now I say that now he will have his own finances and he's able to provide. But that is not my sole reason for being with him.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
Not sole.
So I've married men with dreams.
Right. And I've dated men with millions. My kid's dad, he's a millionaire. Nigga, no. I wouldn't do you twice.
Correct.
So I think but as I said, I'm not fucking with McDonald's. But yeah, because I'm a pescatarian, so he's gonna have to be at like Mr. Shrimp or whatever that place
California
is.
Fish Grill.
Yeah, stop. But so that said, at this point, I think it just depends on the woman. So men are meeting low value women. Would you choose to date down financially? Absolutely. I make a lot of money. You ain't see the title? I'm Dr. Dawn.
Dr. Dawn, come on, somebody.
I make a lot of money. So it's not many people out here that just make what I make, and I'm blessed. So I need him to show up for me in different ways that don't have a dollar sign on them. So absolutely, yes, if I had to choose, I would meet a good man. And sometimes the man that I'm talking to now is amazing.
I love that.
He's amazing. So yeah. So I think that it just depends on the woman you're talking to. If you want to gut a woman and she's looking for money.
I mean, because I've done both, right? I've done the guy where it's like, I'm down to let's grind together, let's grow, let's build, let's evolve. But I mean, at this stage in the game, I need him to have his money together. I'm doing fine. I take care of everything.
But that's not dating potential.
Well.
But that's not dating potential. I think there's a difference in dating somebody who may make a little bit less than you, but has their shit together, than dating someone who has potential, who's like, oh, you know, I ain't got nothing right now, but you know, that's different than
I'm not doing that. I can't
dating
do that.
somebody. Yeah, potential is different than dating somebody who's progressing and who has their shit together but wants more.
Right.
So I think those are different things.
I think so too, because I've dated potential. I've dated a lot of hopes and dreams. Yeah. And just been like, oh, you know,
doing that.
Right. At my big age, I'm like, okay, you know, like, but I'm okay with building with someone. Like if someone's like, oh, you know, like starting their own business, but they're still like like they're still like doing, and they're still financially stable for themselves, then I don't mind dating them. But I can't date someone like, oh, you know, like I'm going to be a millionaire. And then when I get to being a millionaire in 5 years, I'm going to come back and take you from someone actually said this to me, going to come back and take you from the man you're dating, because then I'll be set and you're going to not leave that person for me who's a millionaire. Yeah, because you've got a shit personality and a shit sense of this. That's like,
he's low vibrational.
We need more than that.
I was like, no.
And I was like,
good. I was like, sir, you're not holding down you know what? It don't matter. What I think,
I feel that good with you.
But I will say, like the sex was good, but I was like, you're making all these things and what you want to do, but you don't have the discipline to follow through with it. Even when I'm giving you a bad pep talk,
he gonna make you so tired. Like I got tired thinking about him for you. I'm tired.
Yeah, I was like, you know what?
That's what I went, girl.
I was like, you know what?
Because good sex can only go so far.
Exactly. Realistically.
Right. It can only go so far. Thank you.
I can't help you do
goals. We love to see it.
Yes.
Hey, that's my friend Ray John. Go ahead, girl. Yes, she is gold. Period. Pooh.
I love it.
Damien sending eyeballs. Come on, somebody. He said, I see you and I hear.
Right. Yes. Yeah, no, I love it. We've learned so much on our journeys, and I love that none of you guys, we don't regret it, because we wouldn't be the women we were. We wouldn't be the women we are today if we hadn't been through the things that we've been through. So like, shout out to all of us and all the bays in the comment and the friends that support and being on whole ass TV shows, growing, glowing, parenting, shining, like,
all of that.
I'm just here for it. I'm here for all of
all
this.
The things.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, can you hear that? That's upstairs. Oh, no, yeah. Rich Guy says, there's dreamers and doers. Got to be careful which one you pick. Yes. Because man who, if you have fallen off for a second, you trying something new and you're this and that is completely different than just being like, yo, in 5 years, I'm finna.
Like, but the dream but the dream sounds different. So dreamers and doers sound completely different. A man who has a dream just needs a woman to support him. So even though Martin Luther King was cheating, he still had his woman behind him, Coretta. That was when he said, I had a dream. She was there. So the thing is, like, it depends who's behind them, pushing them toward the dream. A doer's, I'm just saying. So it depends.
You're feeling the doer or not? You're feeling the doer or not?
I'm feeling the doer, but I think it's all about a support thing. I think it's who's in your corner, because men need people that believe in them.
Yes,
they do.
Yeah,
and support them and like respect. Like respect is a big thing, but I feel like that's natural, because you should respect just people in general. You know, it's a matter of after that whether I can trust you and respect you to lead me or not. Because if I don't trust you to lead me, I'm not even gonna go there with you. I'll respect you as a human being because you're a human being, right? You know, I just give that off the rip whether you're a man or a woman. But it's about after that, if I trust your leadership and where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's primary right there.
Yes.
Which I think is important.
Yeah, it's kind of everything, because like otherwise what are we doing this for? How can I even commit on any level if I can't even trust the direction, your leadership, where we're going, and vice versa? Because I know guys don't want some raggedy chick on their side. We're doing all this talking. We know that there is raggedy women out there too.
There are
raggedy as hell.
Very raggedy. Okay.
They raggedy.
This is not a one-sided thing by any means.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And there will be women like, it always makes me think of that girl who went to Tulum, but who she thought was her friend, and she got into a fight with the girl, and she beat her to like literally to death, and everyone stood there. Like, there are raggedy women out there,
raggedy ass people.
Like,
raggedy.
I hated every little bit of that. I really did. That was oof.
That was rough. Yeah. I was like, damn, like imagine thinking these people are in your corner and they can't wait to like can't wait to give you a combo attack in their freest moment.
In their freest moments. But even when we had happened the other day, which I watched the video and I keep telling everybody don't.
I was about to say I didn't. I just don't think I can.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it because it's gonna piss you off.
What video is people? I saw that on Facebook. Well, what video is everyone referring to?
The new one.
Tyree Nichols.
Yeah.
But just don't watch it. You go look it up, girl. Google it. Don't watch it, but Google it. And the thing about it is that's why I say love and love hard, because we don't know how much time we have.
We don't. Isn't that, and we're seeing that more. And it's not to live in fear, but we're just seeing it when I'm seeing so much more of this road rage and shootings, crazy accidents, these things that we're seeing in the video, going out of town and, you know, having your friends do all this, like, it just makes me continue to value life even more, even down to like, you know, I think, who was it that I was talking to? I don't remember, but it reminded me of the same thing. Like, so I feel like I have ugly feet. Like, you know, I got my daddy's feet. You know what I'm saying?
Not daddy's feet.
I got my daddy's feet. I got little bunions on the side. They're not the sexiest. I used to tell myself, I love myself, you know, head to ankle. But I mean, I gotta love I'm like, these feet carry me through this life. I am loving every inch.
I'm here for the hype up. Yeah.
Every moment, I don't have time to be hating on no bit of nothing.
Me through life.
Yes.
In the water.
Y'all doing all this for me, and I'm trying to talk bad about my feet. I love it, everything. I love it all, and I love it all hard. I ain't leaving nothing out. Because
none of it out. That's why I said love and love hard. Because you never know, you know?
Yeah. You never know.
Like, you can be onto it. I learned that. I learned that hard lesson this past 2 weeks, because I got into one accident on January 9th when someone T-boned me, and then I got into an accident with a drunk driver on the 23rd after he ran 2 red lights. Like, if y'all saw the pictures of my car, it looked like I wouldn't have walked away from the accident. But I walked away with minor injuries. I should be wearing my arm brace right now, but I didn't want.
But you cute.
I mean, you are cute though.
But I've been over here like, I'm just in pain. Like, as soon as this gets off, I'm gonna take my second set of like muscle relaxer that they gave me. But I didn't want to be like having a whole brace in the video. Like, beauty is pain. I shouldn't be worried about that.
We're just glad that you're here, girl.
Right. I know, and then it makes me think about life. Like, damn, I really could have not have walked away from that. Like, if I hadn't stepped on my brakes just a moment too soon, like the damage to the front end of my car, where it looks like my whole engine is falling out, could have been on my driver's side, and it could have been completely different.
Wow. Well, I'm happy
you're
here,
sis. Me too. I'm like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with being appreciative for that life.
He said bunions.
You know my bunions.
She walks a lot.
I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Yes, I am a strong woman, and I do walk the walk. I'm always doing my work.
I hiked and I messed up my toe, so I cut the toenail as short as it could go. So the other day, I'm on FaceTime with Boo, and my son gonna say, "Did she tell you she only got 3/4 of a toenail?"
Oh my God, son!
No, I didn't lock the door. I didn't change the locks to the door to the house, because you ain't have to do me like that in front of other people.
I said, "What if I didn't tell him and I went and got me a clean toe?" Like, bro, like,
why you putting me on blast, bro? Now the first thing when your man come in is he gonna be looking for your feet.
He gonna be looking at my damn toe. But I'm gonna be put together, because I'm gonna go get that acrylic ass toe. My son did that, and I was like, that is some haters. That's
come on, somebody. Deshaun said, "Love them toes too, shawty." I know that's right. Mm-hmm.
I do. I'm loving my toes. I love myself head to toe. My body has been too good to me walking through this life. I can't be. I'm just too happy about it all. So yeah, these feet,
Seriously.
open toe shoes, we doing it all. Okay, like
we love it. Like if they don't like it, oh well.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, exactly.
It has nothing to do with me. I love it. Well, ladies, I ran through all my questions. We just been chopping it up, shooting up. I love it. Like we probably should try to get together again.
We are.
And I feel like we should do this weekly.
Like,
why not?
We can't.
Like, why not?
I'm down.
I'm down.
Have this just after discussion. We can talk about the other ladies, the other parts of the show. We can just come up with our own. I have you on email. We'll talk.
Yes, exactly.
We'll figure it out.
Make sure you also send me the link for the show so I can watch them. Because
I got you
here behind your ear again.
Listen, okay, it's longer than what it looks like, okay, and the shrinkage is real, so it goes back.
I do need a little bit of a time.
Because the way my locks was like right here, like a couple years
ago,
you're right.
It's ridiculous.
You're right.
Like, I can see my own hair. It just betrays me every time.
You're right.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Embarrassing. That's okay. I'm learning to love my curls this second time around of growing it out.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
It was so nice when I saw my boo and he was like, the first thing he saw, he's like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. Look at your curls. I wanted to melt into a pool of chocolate. I was like, really? Like, oh my gosh,
I love that.
Whoa. I'm still a thug. Y'all not.
I'm a retired thug. I was like, you know what, girl, you got to relax.
Right.
I low-key am retired. Like
I'm so retired.
I really feel like God broke down all the layers so when I could come to him, I could come to him different. Because the stuff that used to bother me don't bother me no more.
He's like, I done worked on you inside and out.
Yes. I'm involved for sure.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing
but let the right song come on or the right mode be in play. I'm still going, just a little bit.
Right. I'll be your private dancer.
I mean,
or
I can knock a few bucks.
Boy,
there we go.
Right.
Same page.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
that's my favorite one. I like Monica. She does both. But
she does both very well.
Hard.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Any
She's
woman
like the queen of that.
Who's comfortable enough to like put you like hold jail men down. Oh, you built different because I've been like, well, I think this is where we part ways because I can't.
And sir, what did you do? Never mind. I just gotta go. I don't even want to know what you did.
Because the minute they do that sentencing and it's beyond
I can't be on those. I can't be on Love and Locked Up or whatever.
Love and Life After Lock Up and whatever else. I can't. We're not doing that.
No.
I can't do it. I can't
I'm
even
not built for that,
baby.
The
way stamps prices went up, I'm not there for that either.
Listen, and what money am I going to send you? Commissary books? I can't.
That's another job.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I gotta drive like 3 hours to get
stand in line, be pat down.
And then we ain't got what is it called? The commissary. What is it called?
Yeah, putting money on their books.
The conjugals, right?
The conjugal.
We ain't got that. I'm
right.
Okay.
You can't even clap much.
Shout out to the women who are down
because it couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah,
either.
shout out. My bad.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. This still a thug waiting for someone to help me chill out. Being a thug is exhausting. It does get a little tiring.
I'm so happy I can't be a thug or a gangster no more. I ain't gonna tell him. Well, he might have stepped out. I ain't gonna tell him that.
He might have heard it.
He might have heard it.
He said, "Let me get off this phone because she lying. Ain't none of these women in here. They all nerds rope. Like, they all hard on the outside but soft and clean inside. You ain't fooling nobody.
I got my cross stitch over here and like.
Right. I really wanted to tap into that. When I tell y'all, like, I'm like, thank God, like, I sleep different. It's amazing. So, yeah, I'm so happy I ain't got to be a thug.
He said, y'all sound like y'all met locked up men before. No, see, this is all TV. I watch too much TV. I love gangster movies.
That's ratchet TV.
Yeah, I know how that all works.
Oh, so y'all watching Power and the spinoffs.
I'm watching Powers and the spinoffs, and so this is where that's coming from. I have no personal knowledge. Yeah.
Deshaun Allen, no baby.
I know.
I ain't talked to nobody in jail. That takes a lot of work. I'm not
doing that. Do not pass go.
Hey, that's a different type of thug. I ain't doing that.
Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. I'm not built that way.
Not at all.
Like, ooh, no. I couldn't go to jail. The minute I get in, I'm singing like a canary. Like, get me out of here.
Witness protection.
I'm not
Witness
built for this
protection.
life.
Like, what do I have to say
No.
to reduce
I'm
my
turning
sentence?
I'm turning over quicker than a flipped egg. No, sir.
Yeah,
No,
I will
sir.
live in that house in Kansas. Y'all check on me.
I would too.
What you buy?
Because I'm not built for this.
At all.
Shout out to all the cartel ladies. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, I'm not doing none of that.
Okay, now no.
I did used to read a lot of Zane
They're
books
quite
back
set
in
up.
the day when
Yeah.
I was a kid. I used to read a lot of Terry McMillan, Eric
Terry
Jerome
McMillan.
Dickey, Zane, all those thug books.
What was her name? The Coldest Winter Ever?
Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite books. I have it to this day. I read the second one. I still haven't read the third one.
I haven't read the third one either.
Let me tell you, I love
Coldest Winter
Midnight.
Ever.
It's been a minute.
Ooh, Midnight series. Woo, I love me some Midnight.
Yeah.
I actually worked for a company at one point where I would help send things to inmates, and I got to work with them and Universal Music so this is where I got a fun fact. They can't get CDs and stuff because they use it for weapons, but they can get cassette tapes as long as there's no screws and they have a Walkman that's clear. So I used to work for a company. Well, exactly. So I used to work for a company that worked with Universal directly to work with rappers to put their new stuff on cassette so people in jail could actually get some music. Otherwise,
wow.
So there's
I think that's beautiful.
Oh yeah, there's a lot
that's healing. Like music is therapy.
It is. There's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of the rappers were willing to support, and they also had. The company I worked for had a full catalog of stuff because what a lot of people don't know is that it's really hard to get things to people on the inside. If it's not packaged right or it looks like this, like guard steel, they tear everything apart, give you pieces of stuff. And imagine your grandma running around getting you this, that, and the other so you can have underwear and a little something to eat. And they never get their package. So there's all this stuff going on. So they used to help streamline that and put approved items into the jail.
I'm happy for that. Wow.
Yeah.
We can do
the amount of our Black men that are occupying that space.
Like, let's be real.
Music is therapy.
Yes. So
it is.
Yeah. So that's where a little of my knowledge comes from. I'm just trying to help out.
Topic. We can definitely talk about jailbait. A whole nother. Yeah, that's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. It is a whole thing. Mess is serious. You ain't never lied. The coldest winter ever, and I want no parts. I want no parts.
Love it
too. Life ain't for me. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I'm out of wine. I need to go get some more. I should have been smart enough to bring my bottle.
I should have brought my bottle over here.
I brought my bottle
over here.
Like 3 glasses. I'd have had 3.
Wait, nothing left.
I need to stop. My eyes look a little.
No, that's okay because you in the house. You know, I plan to be in the house myself today. So.
Oh, I'm in the house. I'm in this. All of this is for y'all. I'm in the house.
I love it.
We love that. God bless you. God bless you.
And this is my last little hoorah. I'm going out of the country for a week tomorrow.
Ooh,
where you going?
Tulum.
Yes.
Girl, so
I
go to
vacation.
I'm just going because I can.
I know.
No, I am gonna go with the girls. It's not a vacation.
I'm taking my kids to Greece on the 4th, and we'll be there for 8 days, and then I come back, and I got a boot trip.
I know that.
And we're going to Cabo.
Oh my God, I love it. Do you know where you're staying yet? Well, I mean, you don't have to put it on blast, but I just know a couple of great places, and I'm just like, I can't wait to go back to these certain places in Cabo.
I love Cabo. I love Mexico. Well,
I love Mexico.
I do too.
The most for your money. I think in Cabo, there's this hotel called I think it's called Ryu Hotel.
Rio, yeah.
Yes, I want to stay there so bad for my 30th. I didn't get to, but I plan to.
I did Rio in Jamaica. Don't do Rio in Jamaica. But Rios are everywhere. But in Cabo, Rio is nice. I'm a traveler, y'all. So we're gonna have to get together because that's my thing.
We just gotta stay on our we got a lot of
we gotta stay linked up.
Right.
Yeah.
I have any trips lined up, but Bae was like, right, if you still like me by the end of all this, I'd love for you to come to England. I love you to come to England and see my roots and where I'm from. I'm like,
that sounds so fun.
I was like, yes.
Why did she do the accent though?
Because he'd be mocking me. He'd be like a southern accent. I'm like, is that how he sounds?
Is that what it is?
Oh my God.
What does he sound like?
He sounds like
did it right.
Right. So
all I know how to say is British.
Right. He'd be like, you know what? Right. So like those are his key phrases.
Okay, that's so cute. I love it. Yeah, I would definitely do that. To be honest, I've never been to Europe anywhere. I've never been anywhere over there. So that's I don't know why.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
we got to go.
We're
gonna work on it.
Caribbean,
We're gonna work on it.
Mexico.
Me too.
It's all the.
I've done all the Caribbeans. I think that's nigga shit. That's our stuff.
I think so.
But when I want to go like big, like I take my kids out.
Come on,
I've done like Singapore, Bali.
I want to go to those
Singapore was
places.
amazing, but I lived in Japan. I just never did any Europe anything.
You lived in, so how was it like? I hear one of my good friends lived in Japan, and he said that the 7-Eleven out there, like you could eat from it. Wouldn't do that here.
Oh yeah.
But he said like, I was like, imagine eating sushi every day. Oh.
The McDonald's over there, they have stuff that you've never
it's
seen
completely
before.
Different.
And their food looks like the picture. Like you unwrap your McDonald's burger, you got that smooth, perfect bun. Everything's all decorated. Like it's wild.
It's completely
clean,
different.
It's yummy. It's delicious. And I don't eat McDonald's either, but I will in Japan. Like it's.
I will in Japan too. I will in Japan. I will in Thailand.
Other countries.
I will in.
It's different.
Other places. Ours is.
They don't give two shits about their citizens here. What can we expect?
Yeah, living in Japan was amazing. I lived in Okinawa. They love Black people over there. I had my hair was just like this. Oh, kawaii ne. I mean, you're so pretty. They want to touch your hair.
Beyonce.
Everybody thinks you're Beyonce. It's amazing.
England in the summer.
I love it. Most of my second passport was Europe. Yeah, I've just never been.
Second
England
passport.
in the
That's
summer. Right. I'm good, but I'm not that good. Yeah, gosh, the south of France, Italy. Yes. So I want to do Amalfi Coast to Madrid to Saint-Tropez. I think isn't that like here? It's like it should be able to.
It is. It's going
I feel
down.
like it's a
So I want to do all of that.
I want to do that.
Yes, that's what I plan to do. I'm like, okay, like I told him I wanted to live abroad for a year because I said like I don't want to have my kids in the U.S. Like I want them to have that experience. So I was like, I'd like for them to also
manifested the babies. I'm here.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta talk about him.
And he's like, I could do Spain for a year, and I was like, good, fabulous. Check.
Great, check, done. Just so you know. I'm a military brat, so I want to travel. I still do want. I think I could do a child. I still want at least one. And I think it'll probably be.
You got it in you.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I'm in the gym 4 times a week. All this is, we're good.
I want somebody. I know that's right. That's what I need to be doing.
Yeah. It'll be good. But I won't mind taking. Like, let's go. We go. I'm not afraid to pick up and go. I'll take a baby. We could do that.
Right. I said the same thing. Like, I'm okay, and I'm open to having one more.
I love that.
But for sure. Yeah, I was like, we can go. We don't have to be here in this United Stress of America.
Right. At first I was like, I don't really want kids after having my cat who consistently runs around like a crackhead. I wish I could flip my camera right now. Like if I flip my camera, y'all be like, oh, okay, so that's what she over there doing. Right. But I'm like, with the right person, I was like, I think I would like to have at least one. But they seem so scary. Like that's a lifetime commitment. Like that past 18 years. I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure that you're doing the right partner.
To me, that's the most you could do is try to pick the right partner. That's
my kids are amazing. I always tell people
you're doing it.
And most people think that, but let me tell you, when I look at my son, I'm like, wow, like this joker's about to leave in 2024, go to college. It went by so fast. He's 6'4", he's bigger than me, but he's like his manners, the way that he's amazing. So
go mama.
That gives me reassurance. Because I was like, I don't know what we could do.
No, girl, it's a different thing, but it's a great thing. It's a unconditional love. Okay.
Yeah, I would look forward to that, and I feel like I want to do it because I feel like I have so much to give and so much. I don't want to just leave this here. I want to impart anything that could possibly be a benefit and have my little tribe running around here.
And kids, I be trying to tell people like kids are like a purse. People don't be traveling with their kids. Bring your kids with you.
Right.
You didn't hear me. I said I got a kids trip and then I have a bay trip and then I have a girls trip because my kids ain't nobody gonna be able to pull up on my daughter and be like, I'll take you to. She gonna be like, bro, I done been there already. What's next?
Exactly.
Right. Love right on the water. Let's go.
Man, that was something my dad was very adamant about, was like all the things he didn't get to do as a kid, like experiencing all those things, like he made sure we got to do it. Like I'm just gonna do it with my kids. So like he made sure like we were well traveled. So some little low blow Joe couldn't come and be like, "Oh, girl, I'm gonna take you to Arizona." I've been
like, bro, I'd have been there.
like,
So
"Oh,
don't
I'm gonna
ever-
take you to
actually
Mexico."
used to live there. I
Which
don't want to
part?
go. No, thank you.
Like what part? Like Mexico, I've been there. The Caribbean, what part? I've been there. So, you know, you got to raise your kids up in the way that you want them to be.
And that's how you do your kids, literally.
Mhm.
Like you just make sure.
I know we have comments in there.
I know, my goodness.
That's
Sheesh.
beautiful.
Never trying.
Living in Spain for me.
Oh, you did.
They're
I'm like,
funny.
we talked about this. We talked about it.
I love that.
And he agreed.
Done and done. It could all be so simple.
It really could.
Oh.
Like,
It could all be so simple.
But you'd rather make it hard.
Right. Do you
Please
guys
don't
have
make it hard.
any questions for us?
Please don't.
What are your thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts? I think I've asked all you guys my questions. I was wondering if they had questions.
Oh, in the chat?
I was like, do you guys have any questions? I wish I forgot the third girl's name, mostly because I haven't seen the episode.
Oh, shoot.
Narlia and Katrina.
Yeah, I wondered.
Okay, so Narlia and I follow each other. I was upset that she had lipstick on her teeth. But I don't think
did
they
she
seen
on the
it.
show?
Yes.
I didn't
Dang,
know
someone
that.
should have told her.
When you watch it, you're gonna be like, because she's so pretty and she had lipstick on her teeth, probably half of it, the filming. And I wanted to be like, but my friend's a filmographer and he said that's not what they're looking for. But I did want to be like, damn, did nobody see it?
Right.
Production wasn't like
right. Like
right. And so maybe halfway through they did, because at the second half she didn't have it on her teeth. So yes. So Narlia, we follow each other, girl.
Well, I didn't catch it, so everything was so good I didn't even notice anything. And I'm usually picky about stuff like that, so
I feel you.
Like, hey,
picky myself. Like, why did you
now you're gonna see it just because I told you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. Now I'm gonna look for it. Like, what do you mean?
Why she's talking?
Oh shoot! Right.
Yeah, but their stories were nuts. I felt so bad for Katrina. That was just so hard. And then the poor woman just wanted to have a moment. You dissed her all the way to the airport. She just needed
a moment.
Left her hanging so bad. And I know she talked about regretting the sex, and I get it, but it's like, what did you expect her to do? Like, her man.
Her story for me was like,
got upset me.
It was. I was like, damn. But at the same time, like, I don't know. That's when the conversation has to come into play, because he wasn't even putting anything in it.
Nothing.
Like, this is a whole marriage. We got whole children. You're not putting anything in it. So
how is it that you sit here and watch me work 1 month after having a whole baby, and we got other kids, and you working 3 times a week as a man or woman, like, you're not gonna pull up at all, and we're not gonna do this as a team? And he was workhorsing her, like.
And then after, she went back to work after having a baby, and he's like, wait, no, you gotta work
twice.
And she's like, and she was flying to another state to make money with her previous clientele.
Wild. Like, after I have a baby, like, don't expect me to go back if I choose to for the next 3 years. Like, I'm not gonna have somebody else raising my child. Because I don't want to miss those moments. Like, okay, like, I think nannies are good and helpful, but like, I have to go back. Not even after my hoo-ha has healed. Like, it takes 6 weeks, and I'm back at work 4 weeks.
Standing on my feet, braiding hair.
No.
Let me say this. I'll say this. With my son, I was like, I stayed at home with him for 2 years. When my daughter came, I was ready to get out the house. I was singing kid songs. I was 6 weeks, but I was like, I'm singing baby songs. I said, oh no.
Yeah.
So y'all say that now, but when it really happens, you'll be like, oh no, let me.
I'm ready to go, which is true.
I'm ready to get out of here.
I understand.
Right. I get it. I know what we talk about is always different from once we are actually in a predicament.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh, that's what I think would like to happen. And then I make my mind later on. But it'd be nice to be able to have that leeway.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have you're not gonna
have the leeway to be like, oh, okay, I'd like to be able, like, if I choose to, it's okay that
right.
I
Just knowing that you have that time to play with.
Right.
I get
that
you.
option. Yeah.
Yeah.
A night nanny, now that's mandatory because
yeah, it takes a village. Yeah,
yeah,
like
I'm gonna need to be able to. I can only do so much Baby Shark. Like go to sleep. I need
Right.
a bath.
So in the event that I have another one, I'm gonna have a nanny.
A night nanny.
I heard about a night nanny. Yeah, I've seen that on TikTok. Like, oh damn, like
no,
I didn't know this
a
was a
nanny.
thing.
Y'all stop adding night in front of there.
I just need a nanny. That's it. That's the tweet. Now my AirPods.
So, yeah, that's the tweet. We're not gonna add PM, AM. We need a nanny.
A nanny. Yeah, especially with me, I have energy. I don't feel like with my age, but it's like sometimes you just be like, because I watch my niece. My niece is 1 year old, and I love her to death. But when I'm done, I come home, and I'm cool with that.
You tapped out.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's but then it's such a short amount of time. They don't stay babies forever. It's a season, so whatever it takes to get through all that. I don't know what it looks like either, but to have options is what
options is the goal. Because I guess it's different abroad, but there's this documentary I watched, and I can't remember the director's name, but he did pretty much like a vision of healthcare, like how it's different from here in the US versus other places. And it's just been like in France, for example, like everybody, even a doctor and like someone who works in like construction or works at, as a barista, can make the same amount and still be able to live. Like they have daycare that's like free, like they have healthcare that's free. And I was like, why would I subject myself to a 30,000 plus doctor bill here when I can live abroad where they actually give a shit about their
girl?
At least a little bit more.
Sweden. I went to Sweden, Paris, and Amsterdam, and then went to, anyway, needless to say, did these travels. They live completely different than us. Like it is so optimal for your mental health. Like us going to work, doing this 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever it is you do, it's completely different in other countries because they're protecting your mental health. Now they teeth be fucked up. They didn't.
Sometimes.
But the way that they protect your mental health is completely different. Like they're like, are you stressed today? Are you overworking? Go to the pizzeria. Go ahead and leave work.
Take a nap.
They change their hours because in Sweden it's daylight from like December to January or something crazy like that. They change their work hours to where you get to come in late and you leave at 2 o'clock so you can experience the daylight.
Exactly. Like what? Like why are we not doing that?
Here.
Like exactly, like it's a whole like work you to the bone and tired, like and they're working 4 days a week now. Exactly. So I'm like, California is trying to do that, but I'm like, why do you have to try to do it? Just do it.
Just like again, these archaic ideas, like I get it, work, but does it have to be all day, every day, even school? I don't want my kids going to school that long. That's so long.
I tell my boys, we leaving. We going to Costa Rica. We about to live this little life.
I love Costa Rica. I've been trying to go there since college. Ugh, it's on my bucket.
I haven't been yet, but it's on my list.
We're gonna pay our little bit of money, and if there's a baby involved, then the baby gonna come and live outdoors, and I can teach you, baby. I can
teach you a lot.
Like that's it. Like also, like as part of the health and the documentary I saw, like the kids, like they don't go home with homework. They were like, "What's homework?" Like they do it in school, and then they go home to be children. Like,
right?
Why can't my schoolwork be done at school? Now you want to send me home with additional.
But our kids are worried about getting shot.
It's just all too much.
You feel me? Like I'm trying to stay alive in a classroom where I'm trying to get an education, and I have to worry about where I'm going to live to see it through fucking lunch.
Right. So completely different. We're just set up different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I refuse. Like,
but now, and I'll say that. Look, y'all know me. I'm gonna preface that by saying that I appreciate the United States of America, and
because we built that, so
not in a third world country struggling. So there is great gratitude. But at the same time, when you know better, you do better. Exactly. So if you're set up financially and you know that you have the pieces and you're well equipped to go somewhere else, then do it.
Exactly. And no one works harder for the flag than we do because we built this. We built this bitch. Like, let's be honest here.
Let's be all the way.
Oh, she said shots fired. Blah, blah.
Yes. But, like, yeah, of course we love America more than
Good morning, America.
Right.
You're welcome.
And what am I gonna? Yeah, I need. thank God we can, again, with us being kind of like the turning point, thank God we know that we can make the changes we need to and do this thing our own way. All of this other stuff, you can't sell me no more. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm going to do what resonates with me and call it a day. That's it.
And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay, because you're doing something different and you'll find somebody else who will.
Yeah. If that works for y'all,
I always say I don't subscribe to that. But
I don't subscribe.
I don't.
Start saying I don't subscribe to that.
I'm unsubscribing.
Undo my subscription.
That's it. They be laughing at me and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. That's a part of your ministry. I don't subscribe to that.
Right. That's it. That's the tweet.
That's exactly. It drops the mic. That's it.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
What they say.
Change our minds and be good with it. That's it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Oops.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Rich guy said, oh, don't get me started about school. Teach you everything about the system, but they won't teach you how to get your first mortgage or about different cultures and practices. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that makes
talk about sense. Swiss cheese. All the holes. All of the holes in the system.
And no one to fill them. The teachers are barely getting paid. The parents are sending them because they got to go to work. It's like this system of foolery.
Right, really, like that should be something you definitely learn in school about mortgages and W-9.
Mortgages and this credit that you guys hold us accountable to, and balancing. Well, I was gonna say a checkbook, but we don't use that like that. But balancing your account, you know, like really just the fundamentals of really being an adult. Like even I told you, my sister just turned 20 on the 24th, and I'm sitting here and like, you know, just her growing and moving, and I'm like, girl. Like being an adult, you have all of these bills. If I were you, I would stay put as long as you can.
As long
as you can, because being an adult can be somewhat ghetto. You're going to work, you're working to pay these bills. My SoCal gas bill just tripled.
Yes, I
tripled.
It's wild. Like my bill went from $40 to $70. I was like
$20 to $70. What are we doing?
They're like, and their explanation doesn't make sense. Like, oh, it's going up because what?
But they said because that was their answer.
That was it. Like, okay,
because that was their answer. So it's like, you know, so just teaching everybody like how to move in that, you know. So we got to be able to move in these spaces. But I'm all for if y'all do a big migration where all niggas shall be included. Let me know.
You know what I'm saying?
We need a little plot in Peru somewhere. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, as I look at my passport to see if Wakanda is opening, welcoming new citizens, because I want to go there. Like, literally, you know,
like the vibranium, I'm here for all of it. So if y'all let me know,
what are we doing?
If we're doing a mass migration, I'm down.
I need Black friends so I can talk about my experiences. Like, girl, you know, did you have wine this morning at breakfast? We in Italy. Yeah, they start drinking at 10.
With no judgment.
I had cab and eggs.
Right. I had cab and eggs. And they tasted delicious. Why didn't I do this here?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. We should probably be discussing a mass migration at this point.
I agree. I mean,
it should really actually be.
Sign me up. Like, where do we need a permission slip? Like, what is the what?
Right.
Because I'm ready. Like, let's go. Yeah,
I'm not the planner friend on the vacations, but I will make sure we are outfitted out. Okay, Monday we wearing this, Tuesday we wearing this. Like,
we need a Discord chat. Maybe just join the Discord chat.
You're right. Like, see, I can set up the place, the space, how we get there, but I be neat, like you said, the outfit coordination. There's different people who got different pieces.
That's me. I did that for my best friend for her birthday in November, and she loved them. She went to Aruba. I was like, okay, girl, we're gonna make sure that you got any and everything.
Okay, so I got the setup. You got the outfits. Jamie, what's going on? Come, we got this. You know what?
I'll bring the people.
You got the people, and you're good with scheduling stuff. Like, we're gonna
arrive
at time. This is where we're gonna be. This is where we're gonna step.
That's it.
We got the logistics. There we go.
Right here. We got it all right here, and we got a doctor, so we got healthcare.
Period.
She said, "I can sew you up."
Hey,
let me YouTube it first, but I can sew you up.
That's it.
Time to start making some moves, because this $140 gas and electric bill is just, what are we doing?
It's not doing it.
It's not.
for no reason. And then why y'all charging me $10 for eggs? I'm tired.
Right.
I was like,
the folks was fighting over the eggs. I was
like, why are y'all? Why are y'all
first it was
charging me
tissue,
this
now
much
it's
to eat somebody
eggs.
else's kids?
We went from tissue, now it's eggs. Y'all play too much.
Exactly. I was like, why are eggs $5? I'm not paying for that.
My mom in Georgia, she got chickens. I said, can you melt me some eggs?
Let me get a chicken. Can you give me a chicken?
Send me the whole damn chicken.
The cost of the chicken is less than the eggs, so let me make my own eggs.
Wild.
Mm-mm.
Wild.
I'm over it.
I don't make the rules. I just try to follow
I'm loving
them.
you for this. We went way over, but I am loving you for this.
We did. We kicked it.
So over.
We kicked it. I love it.
Oh, he said, how were your eggs?
Asked her how her eggs were.
You didn't mess up the eggs, did you?
He made me, so I don't really like muffins, breads, cakes, cupcakes, brownies. I'm not really a sweets girl. But this morning he made me an English muffin and he put an egg on it. And then on the other half of the muffin, he put jelly. And it was really good. I tore it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's my piece. And then I add a little bit of avocado. That's the only thing. Yes, add avocado.
But it was good by itself. He's like, it's good, right? And I was like, it's yummy.
Or even I'll take the other half and do cream cheese and jelly and just have that.
Girl.
See, that's good. I haven't tried that way. But I was like, okay, I like English muffins in more ways than one.
I love it.
I'm excited.
Yeah. $5 eggs. Would you get them? Yeah. Look, see, we already got people ready to go.
Hey, we already got people
ready.
Let's go.
She's ready.
We got squad.
Mass migration, y'all. I'm about to send out a damn poll.
Look,
exactly. Come on, where we want to go.
We gonna head out in 2024. My son going to college anyway. My daughter can come. Let's go.
Listen,
why not?
I don't think it's bad to like genuinely be a discussion because the way things is going, I don't really know.
Right.
It's all the way my money runs so far in another place, like I can get a whole. I ain't
because it's going to shit anyways. I might go be going to shit in some place I actually like.
Right. Right.
I want things to go to shit in peace.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you. Okay. Balance. It's balance.
Exactly.
Things go to shit while I'm looking at the ocean. I'm just
right. While I'm looking at the ocean, and I got my man, and the weather's nice. Like
that's all I need.
Man.
And where do a lot of arguments come in a relationship? Money. It looked like he's talking about money. Ooh.
I saw that.
Money for sure.
Yeah.
That's been proven that number one reason that people
get divorced.
Yeah. For sure.
Monique says, y'all ladies, I want to go.
Come through, boo.
I think I'm playing. I've been ready.
That'd be so fun.
My poor daughter, she's gonna have to get the Wanderlust me because I'm gonna be out. The nomad.
Right. She gotta make friends.
I'm gonna be out.
You know, because mama's not gonna be at home.
No, I'm not. Like, baby, we going. She gonna be like, where we at? We over there.
Over there.
Over there. Doing something.
Over there.
I love my braids. I've got to get my hair braided like that. I think that's my next thing.
I know, and then she flipping it, and it's making it. Hey, because you know I can put a little stuff over my locks, and I've done that.
Let me go ahead and take another screenshot.
Well, I might send the link. So we need that. We need the link for our show. We need to, we're gonna talk about this migration. We're gonna plan a play date. Okay.
We got things.
We got a couple things.
We got things. We have an agenda.
We should go live on Instagram, and then they have the little tip the things, tip the things, tip the hostesses.
Oh,
I'm like, I think Instagram just started that. I was like, okay.
Oh, my friend because I hope they could do that because I thought I've taken my eyes off it because I thought the only people who could get badges and stuff like that they have to have over 10,000 subscribers. I don't have that.
Oh wow.
Or followers. But if tips might be different, I don't know.
I have my other account. I closed that one because the DMs. I do not like niggas coming for me. I am the aggressor. So I closed my other account, but my other account has over 10,000 people.
Oh,
so if that's the requirement, let's do that.
I'm like to get the monies. I think it has to be. I think that's part of the eligibility.
That's okay because there's also sites that I used to do like Bigo where you go live and people go on there specifically to tip you and hear you talk. And I stopped doing it because I got tired of talking to myself. But if I have two other people who I can talk with, then boom, we split the profits, baby. We up and it's stuck.
IG is different. Okay, Rich. Okay,
Over
Rich.
10K on TikTok. IG is
with the stats.
So I do make money on my reels. I'm not making a lot of money, but I make money.
Woo.
But not like, I don't know nothing. 10K. I don't even TikTok. Dang it.
That's because he does well on TikTok. Like he's got followers and likes, a lot of them.
I'm not
No
consistent on TikTok.
I don't even have a TikTok account. Like I don't like see all of this is beyond my years.
It's a lot.
Nigga, this takes work. This takes work.
TikTok,
like
but
y'all got the TikTok. I just learned Instagram for real.
On to the next.
That part. She said, "I got to."
So now you want me to tickety talk? Okay.
TikTok
Dang.
was rough to learn at first, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn it and do it. Like, why not?
Well, I have to ask Bay if
Right.
you're like that, then I'll tickety talk. Okay.
Same. I'm gonna have to
Give us
ask.
a
I'm
rundown,
gonna have to ask Bay too, because I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
Rich has the facts.
I only
Rich
know
has the
so
facts.
much, like about TikTok. Like, okay, I don't take my TikTok seriously. That's the problem. I post things that I want to like and do, and if the likes come, cool. But if they don't, I'm also okay, cool, because it's not where I make my money.
Right.
Rich, come on, let me find out. What did Rich do? Rich.
So,
okay.
well, I guess he could tell you, but he's starting his own talent agency out here in LA.
Ooh,
And he
fun.
works heavily in like
Talent
marketing.
for acting or talent for
Musicians or
I think
Rich, what you do?
right.
Yeah, there we go.
Tell us about your
What
talent
you do?
agency.
What you
His
do?
talent
She's
agency, I don't know that.
bits and
So I
pieces.
think
you got the bullet points.
I'm a
Yeah, can we-
host. What you got some work for me?
yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, there are people out there who want the representation. There are people out there who want the representation.
Yeah, that's how
Look,
you get the
you see
jobs.
me in the comments. I'm waiting on Rich.
He's probably formulating his comments right now, like, oh my god.
Right. But
Like,
in the
now
meanwhile,
he's
yes,
spot.
loving on the
But he
hair.
works.
Yeah,
Yes.
got vacation hair too. Get up and go. Get it wet.
Oh yeah,
sand
did you
beach.
leaving? You said you leave when?
Tomorrow?
Oh, you wasn't playing. Are you packed?
Oh yeah, I was packed 3 days ago.
I know
She
that's
said,
right.
I'm ready.
I don't
am
mess
ready.
around.
I
'Cause
love
I need
that. Oh,
peace. I need it all. I need peace and relaxation.
I love
man, that's
Well,
the
let's
best way.
get
Like
together
when
for
you're
real.
stress free packing for a trip versus when you're stressed and packing for a trip.
I can't.
I
It's just I hate being stressed. It's too much.
Like
It's
I
too
don't.
much. We're gonna have a blast. Okay, this is what I'm doing.
There we go. Bing bong.
At the moment, but we're working with creators on everything from subscription accounts,
Okay.
podcasts. Okay.
So we need to talk to you.
That's what I told him. Like, yeah, boo, there are people out there who want the representation.
Okay. So
Facts,
we need to talk
because
to you, Rich.
talent doesn't
Mhm.
always know what to do. Like this, the forte is not the marketing
Is
and the
his
business.
name Rich?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
That's his
okay.
government name.
I'm like, wait a minute, because you're at the rich guy in Britain, the British people specifically, their names be Rich, and some of them name be Guy, but I know he
Yeah.
probably added the Guy part.
No, that's his government last name.
Oh,
That's his government name.
look, God already spoke into you, Rich.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that, being ordained. There's power in the name.
Wow,
That is amazing. Agreed.
Power.
Okay, and so you over here manifesting a rich God the second. I'm here for it.
What I asked for the last time I was looking for a partner last year, and I wrote down specifically what I wanted in that person. He checks off all the checks, and I remember when I was like, I think I was talking about like, oh, does he like want and need, like, does he have to be Black? And I was like, I put different hearts for something that was a want and something that was a need. I was like, that's a want. But at the time I was like, it don't matter because I would never. But here I am.
Here you are. Here she is.
I love it.
Girl,
I love
enjoy
it for
all
you.
of that.
Like,
I'm enjoying my light skin. Enjoy your bright skin, okay?
Period.
However,
I am here for it. We have the in-house financial and business planning. Yeah, very necessary.
okay.
He's
All
got
right.
it together. I was like, the clients are coming. I was like, don't worry, the clients are coming. Because there are people out there who are looking exactly for what you're offering.
Always.
Look, Jamie was like, we can talk. I'm interested. I'm here. I'm a host.
Nice.
And I'm not going to claim to have it all together. I need help and guidance. So,
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Look, y'all don't, the power of a circle and manifesting in the right time in the right place.
yep.
Feel me? Bing bong.
Big mom. A lot of creators make big money. Oh, yeah, but they don't know how to manage it. Yeah. we make sure to actually
enrich specifically Black people.
Get to learn.
That's what I was telling them. Black creators, Black TikTokers are out there that want to be represented by you. Like, you know how much are getting overshadowed for the things that they create, and somebody white comes and takes it and makes it their own. I was like, they are out there. I was like, I can give you some off rip. But he said that he was like, you know, like I've mixed business with pleasure before, and I don't want it to be like, oh, I signed your friend and then they're mad because A, B, and C. I was like, okay, that's fine.
I understand.
Like, I was like, okay.
Right.
So I was like, all right, that's fair.
And after some time, if it makes sense and whatever, who knows? Like, it could just, I don't know. You would have to have a strong foundation for that and be okay if there was any static. Like,
right. Which I was like, okay, we're building that, so that makes sense. But I was like, honestly, I was like, once I pass them off to you, I still love them, but they would need to bring their concerns to you, because I'm not.
Don't text me about my man.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
And that's the line. That's the healthy boundary.
Girl, right, and that's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, I was like
all over my life. That's the boundary.
Exactly. I was like, my friend Jackie, like, I was like, she does amazing work, and she's like really, like, her engagement is pretty really good. And so I was like, but I was like, she would never text me and be like, oh my gosh, what's going on with this A, B, and C? And if she did, which she never would, I can't say never, which I'm confident she wouldn't, you know, like, I'd be like, hey, you got to talk with him about that, you know, because I don't know anything. And I feel like she'd be like, you know what, I understand, I get it.
Exactly.
Like, all my friends would be like, I get it, I completely understand, because they know that I just recommended them, and that's all I could do.
Right, that's all I can do. The rest is on y'all.
Yeah.
The rest is on y'all.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of these content creators too are not making like they're getting lowball offers. Like they're not making what they could make on a video or whatever. I hear that a lot. Like people wanting to take their sounds and pay like beans for it.
That's deep though. They pay you beans.
Yeah, when they should be getting a lot more money.
Rich, you're 1,000% right. Like these are the things. And so while our kids are at the school learning how to skip count, which is really, I didn't even know. Y'all know what skip count is?
Skip what?
I guess this is the beauty of having young kids. You know how we used to count by twos or count by fours or count by five?
Yeah.
They call it skip count.
Oh, okay.
So while our kids are at school learning how to skip count, they need to be learning how to manage their money. Writing off your studio because you're working in there. This is where you're doing
the phone.
This is where you're doing business. This is a write-off.
Yes,
exactly.
All of it.
And they don't know that.
They bank on us not knowing that stuff. They're cool. You know, people are cool with.
They're okay with it. Yeah.
They'll offer it in private school, but why wouldn't you offer that in all schools?
Uh-oh.
Don't let me get on this mic, child.
I mean, look, is this thing on? Because make 12 stories per day. Wow.
I was like, I make 12. I was like, I post to my story more than 12. No, I don't. Because I feel like that's a lot to skip through. But he's like, but you could go ahead and reach out to a brand and make like, tell them you'll make 12 stories, you know, about them throughout a month. And I was like, okay, but I need help with that. So I'm going to get with him and see about, because I like doing reels and doing the acting monologues. So I
wanted to start those, an acting monologue. I wanted to do that for fun.
There's so much fun. Like there's so many monologues out there that I could just read. And I'm like, okay, and like act out. But I was like, then it comes into play, doing the different characters, everything like that. But when I look at Keith Lee, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's like the food critic.
Yeah, the food guy, critic. Yeah.
He literally sits here and goes like this and
says,
and he's just himself.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't need to be anything more than myself.
That part. You look, what they say, you are enough.
This is true. So I'm like, okay, you know, I was like, I'm gonna get with him and see about that. Because I was telling him like, oh, if we do become official or whatever, I was like, I do want to do the TikTok where it's like bump, bump. And it's
wait, hold on. I got to fix your language.
Ma'am.
When we become official.
Okay, you're right. Cool. Okay. Having a relationship a long time.
Look, I ain't got my boo doing that. He'd be like, if, and I'd be like, when?
Yeah.
When is official? Right.
I think baby, I need to go on. So
I'm not going anywhere.
I got you. I got y'all with the invites. Yes. But I was like, okay. I was like, the only TikToks I want to do because I think they're cute is like that one couple TikTok where it's like bump, bump, bump. I'm gonna be like, me as a girlfriend, and then my completely opposite boyfriend. And then he comes in the picture and he's like man bun, tattooed neck, has a nose piercing, completely from England, like completely opposite of me. And be like, oh wow, I think that'd be cute and fun to do.
Yeah,
that'd be cute and fun to do too. Like, why not?
That's super
But
cute.
I'm afraid of doing that thing like as a whole, because I'm like, dang, what if you got like you know who Diaria and Ken are? I love them as a YouTube couple.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, they're one of the few when YouTube was first starting out. There's a couple that I had seen, and they broke up recently, maybe like 2-3 years ago. And they have their own things now, but that's how their audience was built, off of them together. So I was like, okay, I've tried that in the past. I'm just like, what if it doesn't go like how I think it will? And what if that becomes like your entire life? Like, oh, we got to make content. You got to do this. I was like, I don't want to be on all the time for those people. Because as a model and an actress, I already feel like I do that. So it's like, oh, now we got to like create content because we want to make sure our views do this and we get paid. And I'm like, that sounds so exhausting. Because then my person becomes a business and I don't know.
I would say just keep it fun. Even me, I've been doing a lot more reels because I'm sillier than I let off and I'm having fun with it. Mm-hmm. But the moment it feels like I'm not doing it. I just want to keep it fun.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't like anything feeling like a job.
Right.
Yeah, I don't exactly. I don't dream of it.
I guess, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's as long as it stays fun, I have to stay in that vein. And then if I continue to think that way, then I feel like I'll only say yes to things that sound manageable and light and fun. And we can keep it there. It don't have to be.
Dr. Dawn, the next time we get together, girl, we're gonna get you a ring light because it's giving shadow world.
I know. I need to get my light together. My sister says that, and I'm like, oh my god, like the ring is too light. Like I've already had my LASIK in 2016, and y'all not about to be putting.
But that's okay because I'm gonna email you the ring anyways.
Right. Like
email you the
I
ring
need
anyways.
I need it. It is giving shadow.
That's okay. That's all right. We don't know what we don't know, but we're gonna get it. Because I was like, this one is beautiful and I feel it. I just need to see it.
Right. I even went to your page. I was trying to find pictures. I was like, this beautiful woman don't really got no picture. She got dimples and her face is like, where?
I know. She's like, I'm low
That's
key.
the other account. That's the healed Dawn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the one I told you. If we need the 10,000 followers, I'll open that one back up.
Come on, somebody.
One,
yes, sir.
she, you know.
This is the quote of the namaste.
I'll build this way.
Yeah. Got you.
Exactly.
Whew. Yes, ladies.
I've had a great time. This was great.
Me too. I was gonna say, did you guys have any last thoughts? But I feel like we gave all our thoughts on all the things.
Yes. We should do this again next week on Bigo, where I can make us an account and we can get beans and stuff for it.
I don't know what a bean.
Look, she just spoke Spanish to me, but she gonna be gone. But let us know.
I am gonna be gone. Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh, deja vu. I literally dreamt about this exact moment. That's very wild.
Deja vu you just got?
Yeah, like the whole like, oh, I'm gonna be out of the country, and she just spoke Spanish to me. Like I've seen that in a dream like about a week ago.
I love that.
What? Yeah, I was
I'm into that.
A very recent dream too. I was like, oh wow.
I'm into that. So it sounds like we should continue to make this work. The only thing I know is to go where the people are. So I think even to Instagram, like whatever we want to do, we can have fun with it. We'll talk about it.
Yes, I'm excited.
I'm definitely down.
Call it Wine Down or something. We'll figure it out.
Oh, she
get our wine sponsors. Rich guy, get us our wine sponsors.
We need cases. They need to come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can start with the wine and like endorse it and have it shown. Black Girl Magic, I hear their wine is really good. We can start with them.
I did, yeah. I've had my eye on them.
They do have a couple, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be fun. That'd be amazing.
No, I'm down for it all. So keep me posted.
Me too. Okay. Oh, I love it, ladies. I think I'm gonna eat and wind down myself and this is so much fun.
Too.
Shout out to Paula, one of the executive producers. That's who I know. She's the one who
She's amazing.
She is. She's been so amazing and so helpful throughout the entire process.
She is so amazing. She's somebody who we had a conversation like right before we connected all together, and I was like, oh my God, I need like her wise counsel in my life often.
Right. It's good.
If you've never had a full conversation
process, like her and her husband have been together, I believe 41 years.
Yeah, like 40 years or something.
And then I hate to do her call out for it, but our son is Jay Ellis.
I just found it out. I didn't know.
Yes. But she's so humble that you wouldn't even like everything about her. Like she has her own, I think it's Mary Esther Ruth or something.
Mary Esther Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the women of the Bible. And so she has her.
Amazing. When I tell you guys, like even during the whole process, like her just the way that I literally I got therapy from her. And it was just in her voice. And it was just in how her as a human being is just amazing. And so I just, when I tell you I dropped it all, and it was stuff that I didn't even realize that I hadn't healed from sitting on therapist's couch that I had already, paid and over therapized myself because that's what I do. She took me to a whole nother level. And I was like, wow. So
it's just her essence.
It is.
Like, I think so. I got that from her on set. I didn't get to talk to her as much, but she was like very reassuring. It was very much. Oh,
and Adrian, both of them.
Exactly.
And Adrian, I know Adrian from back when I was doing I was working with an intuitive healer and a life coach back then and doing Esther retreats and stuff. And Adrian was friends with the lady that I used to work with. So I know her, not like besties, but she's still in the circle. So it's so amazing. Yeah.
The world is so small.
It's so small.
It's literally like, you're like, wow. But you said retreat, so we definitely got to talk.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that.
Yes. I got some stuff going on. I'm going to be launching my group coaching for women next week. I'm going to do it while I'm in Tulum because I just feel like there's going to be an energy to that.
What you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got my group coaching with my sassy technique and my getting to the root method.
We love to see it.
Yeah, it's really good. I've been working with some girls and I needed to see what I had and how I was able to make the change so I could now articulate what that looks like. And I'm excited. So yes, retreats, getting together, sister circle, all of this stuff. I'm like about that life. It's so.
I'm here for it. So let's make sure let's keep this circle going for sure.
Right.
Faith says, thank you, sister. Thank you guys for touching on so.
Oh, girl, we was hopping topics, and we followed each other. That's what's funny. Like even though we jumped, we was jumping with each other.
Exactly. Here for it. I love this.
We got flow.
It's so nice. Yeah, I like this. I'm hoping like next week I get this new job offer, so we'll see. So that way I can like.
I'm all for changing your language. Next week,
do you want the job
offer?
Yes, when I get the job, because I just have my last interview, and then I'm meeting with the presidents. Like I've gone through everyone else, and they like me, so I just meeting with the president.
You already at the top.
Do you like?
Yeah,
I was like,
I was like, when next week when I get it, that way we can talk about next week. Like, oh my gosh, I got a new position. Oh.
Okay, so do you said they like you? Do you like them?
I do. I really do like them. Yeah, I've learned to go like.
So lastly, I was on Twitter and there's this girl I follow her. Her name is Taylor, but she has this whole law of assumption and manifesting this and that. And I've been telling myself I manifest instantly, I manifest fast, and I'm just picking stuff out the sky, and my stuff is turning around in 24 hours. So
I'm telling you.
We're thinking like you're in prime. It don't take time. I want it now.
Right. Yes, when you're in tune and your vision is clear and you've released all of this other stuff, then you'll be surprised at how things show up. Like
it's mind blowing.
Like I can literally think something, and the next day it's like, and I'm like, wow.
The next day, my stuff is turning around in 24 hours.
See, I need to get like that and let my overthinking get out the way. But we'll talk so that way I can get that way because I'm like,
there's nothing to overthink. What you say, that's what it is.
Prayer Circle.
That's true.
I think it's called Prayer Circle. Check it out. It's a book called Prayer Circle, or maybe Circle Prayer. I don't know because your girl been drinking. But it's either I'll send it to her.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And that also that helps. But anyway, so check that book out, and then of course, All About Love by Bell Hooks. Check those two books out.
That was so good. Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would like those and actually be held accountable to finish them because there's so many books I've started and haven't finished. 6th grade me is so disappointed.
6th grade me was so good on that, but I'm avid with the books because it changes my life.
We didn't even have Cliff Notes, but we was out here making up shit. But yeah, check those books out. But Prayer Circle for sure. Mm-hmm. Girl, like a circle of prayers. Poor guy. I don't even know. I'm butchering his book. But anyway, when I tell you, since I've read that book, the power of my prayer, the power of my journaling, the power of my manifestations, I can think something and literally it comes to light the next day. F that.
And you know what I've been sharing with people too, because I think about it, you know, like I said, I grew up Christian and, you know, did that whole thing, but it's like everything, I feel like the ask and it is given and seek and you shall find, all that is based off of like everything we want. It's like already here. So it's like the profession of it that puts us in alignment with what is, it's already there.
Right.
Whether it lives in a different
here,
like
you just have to profess it from your mouth because the tongue is powerful.
Like make
once
it
you
real
claim
to
it and
you, because it's there.
Yes.
You don't have to ask, you don't have to beg, you don't have to like no, you have the same power and it is so. We're done. I don't question. And I only move towards
which is very true. I guess because I did a job interview a couple of weeks ago and I was like, oh, this job is mine. Like, I know it. And they were like, oh, we should have to go to other candidates. And I was like, okay, well, you. Like, all right. I was so mad. I was like,
but I interview people and I say that all the time, knowing that they're my number one candidate. See, there's a difference in me having another candidate and you being my number one candidate. So I'm interviewing for a position now. And I told the girl, I'm like, okay, I have 2 other interviews, but the reality is, girl, you're my candidate.
Right.
And so just go with that.
And then it's also like switching the ask and making sure you're asking, you know, if this is for me. Like, because you might want this little job so bad and it didn't work out because it wasn't for you. But if you're taking that, I asked and I believe for it and it didn't work out, so my manifestation power doesn't work. It's really like, I want to refine my questions that are like, okay, what would it take for me to be aligned with the right job for me? I want to be in the right place. If this job is for me, I'm gonna get this easily, effortlessly, and for more money than what I've requested, and we're done. Like, so that way, if you get it or you don't, you know, it's
because what's for you is for you and can't be taken from you. So that job wasn't for me, although I thought it was. It wasn't.
That God's rejection is protection.
It is.
So even if you don't get it, then it wasn't for you in the first place.
Right.
Because the next thing you get is going to be better. You might not know why or how, but it just is. It's just the living in the knowingness of it and being so sure. Like, I'm telling you, I'm having a ball over here. I feel like I got a magic wand. It's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. My mind's blown. It's crazy.
Well, manifest us doing a show, girl.
It's already done.
Right. Why not? Why not? This is just encouragement for me to actually start my podcast with my sisters because we've been talking about it, but we just never done it. Like, we have the name for it and everything. It's like the name of our group chat, but we're just trying to figure out, like, how do we get it like this? Like, all of us on here like this, so that way we can, like, do it.
Any resources, questions, like, I'll tell you whatever. It's easy.
Oh, and I love that because a lot of us have the knowledge, but we're scared to share because we think the other person is going to come up above us. But that's not the case.
No.
If it's meant for you, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
what y'all do, they don't got nothing to do with me. If I can help, why would I?
Exactly.
I'm gonna watch your podcast when I get off mine.
So I appreciate that in you.
You know what I'm saying?
That was
right. My dad always taught me a rising tide rises all boats. And it should.
Yeah.
If I'm winning, I don't see why those around me are not winning. Like,
it's a win. A win is a win is a win.
I want everybody to win.
Like, why not?
What Issa Rae say? I'm rooting for everybody that's black.
Yeah.
Every year.
I'm rooting for everybody black.
So I really want everybody to come up. I do.
Yeah.
I know the knowledge. I'm going to share it.
There's enough room at the table for everyone to eat.
I like to take Jay-Z. What is it? Over here, we measure success by how many people successful next to you.
Yes.
Broke if everybody is broke except for you. Bomb.
Yay. Right.
Yes. That is so real though.
Like,
because there's enough room at the table for everyone to eat. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna be the only winner. That's what? I know.
Like,
doesn't make sense.
And why? I don't want to be that person because that sounds like a struggle life too. Because now y'all niggas coming to me.
Yeah, who gonna help me?
Exactly. No.
Please be smarter. Please have more. Like, show me something.
Right.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, this is good, y'all. I love it here. I guess before we go, the last quick thing for those who are still here, if you want to tell them where they can find you online so they can stay connected with you. So we'll start with Jolesa and work our way. Or
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, my Instagram is at Joe Queen, so it's JO_Queen.
lovely.
Mine is at drdawn.life.
Okay.
Perfect. I love it. I'm following you, ladies.
I don't do Facebook. I don't do TikTok, but we might be TikTok.
We might be TikToking here pretty soon, so let's get comfortable.
Like real comfortable.
Let's get
I do
comfortable.
have an account.
You have it.
Hey, that's a start. You got
It
an
is a
account.
start. It's a start. And of course,
Thank
you
you
guys
so much
know
for this
me,
space.
your host.
Thank you.
What'd you say?
I said thank you for the space.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you for hosting us today. Because at first I was like, dang, I don't know if I want to do it because I ain't seen my own episode. You know, what am I to do? But I'm glad
You
I
can
came.
do it
I'm glad I was
tonight.
like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
See, I love that. I'm so glad. Yes. Yeah, I'm so glad. Sometimes you just have to go for it. Like y'all finna do with your podcast. It's just gonna be a why not? You're gonna put it up, done.
All right. Let's
Saying
get this
yes. Yes. And thank you guys all for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe. I'm been on the YouTube. I've been very consistent. I'm so proud of myself. I think I've gotten like 300 subscribers in the past 2 months, which really makes me happy because I'm being consistent. So yay.
Here we go. Go somebody.
Yes. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I have a great time there. You can find me here. And yeah, you guys will see us. You'll see me. You'll see more if you stay locked in, turn your notifications on. And thank you guys for joining.
Yay.
Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Good night.